raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yummity yum. Bring your sour cream.
Shell, meat, lettuce, cheese. Shell, meat, lettuce, cheese. Shell, meat, cheese.
It's raining tacos. Raining tacos. Raining tacos. It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos. Raining tacos. Raining tacos.
Lettuce, cheese. Shell,
It's raining tacos. Tacos.
What's up, everybody? Happy Canada Day. All you Canucks out there, living loud and proud and happy. We're a glorious nation that is very, very, very good to be part of. Confusing at times, sure. Not totally exactly sure where stuff comes from or why they do certain things, but I will say that it is nice to be here. I'm glad to live here and not anywhere else. I've lived other places, and I'll take here every day of the week. Of course, I'm not an old person or a sick person or a baby or someone who is indigenous but other than that, it's fine. You're totally fine. Oh, look, my chat isn't working. Hooray! Let's try this again. Good to see you, Data God. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Are you having a party today? Are you barbecuing? Data, if you don't know, Data God is barbecue par excellence. He's unmatched in his ability to create good meat. So if he is, anybody who's there is blessed. My neighbor is having something, and so after stream, I will be over at the neighbors eating their hamburgers. Or whatever they have, probably hamburgers. Good to see you, Fair. Glad you're here. Rancello that stands on guard for the eaten stuff. Yes, all the Canadian things. Canada always has a holiday right before the America's holiday. Yeah, we're doing. I'm going to the neighbors. Going to the neighbors. I would love to sit in the basement all day long, every day, just doing basement things. But I have to go outside. I was going to wear a red shirt. I had it on. I had a sweater with a big Canada flag on it. And it lasted maybe 8 minutes before I was like, too hot, can't do it. And then I realized all of the clothes that I have that have a maple leaf on them are, all of them are sweaters. Every single one. So that's not great. Are they preempting us? Are we one-upping that? We are, I think you came our years, maybe even a century first. So you were first. So we were one-upping, or we were at least trying to catch. Actually, we did what we always do. We watch you do something, and then we did it worse. You're like, oh wow, that's a really good comedy show. We should make a worse version of that. Oh wow, that's a really cool holiday you guys are doing. We should do a worse version of that. That's what we do. The only thing we have, the Canadian comedy that outshines all American comedies is Corner Gas. Corner Gas was the funniest show ever to be on the TV, regardless of what country you're from, except maybe Britain. Okay, there's some pretty funny stuff in the BBC, but Corner Gas is ours. Of course, Corner Gas is Canadian Seinfeld, so even that is kind of stolen, but still. It's still good. I'll give you Murdoch Mysteries. It's good. I've never seen it. I've seen commercials. Never seen it. Apparently, Kim's Convenience was pretty good. Never watched that either. I stopped consuming all content that doesn't have waifus in it quite some time ago, and Canada hasn't embraced the animated thing in a while. We used to. Canada Animation, I don't know if it's still going, but Canada used to have like a government agency just to help people do really cool animation, and it was very, very good. Some of it was educational, some of it was silly, some of it was downright weird, and it was pretty cool. I still have nightmares about the old lady who swallowed a fly. That was and if you have not seen the log driver's waltz animation, I highly recommend it. In fact, why don't we watch that now? We'll see if I can get demonetized right up front in it. Let's enjoy this together, shall we? I think this is a great idea. Log driver's waltz, Canadian version. Yes, Canada's vignettes, log driver's waltz. That's the stuff. All right. In celebration of Canada and all things Canadian, this is what we're going to do. Where are we at? Let's go here. Nope. Wrong one. Oof. Computer working hard. Because of the GIF? Is that the problem? Was that little Canada flag GIF one step too far for you, computer? You poor thing. You poor thing. All right, here we go. This is for anybody out there who hasn't seen this yet. You're about to have your socks blown off and your mind completely taken over by a song. So here we go. Definitely going to get me copy striked on YouTube, but you know what? It's worth it. See, the Film Board of Canada, it still exists, obviously. But it's not nearly as rad as it used to be. When's the last time they put out some really good animation? Like, I don't even know. Guess if I don't watch Kim's Convenience, I shouldn't be watching. Ah, it's so good. I might cry. This is like doing Chobi stuff. Remember back when Chobi would just find some super old movie that was like couldn't get copyright, and then you just watch it? That was clever stuff, man. Watch this transition. Watch it. Watch this transition. It's gold. Can you imagine doing this as a job? I can't. Wham! Look at that.
If you ask any girl from the parish around what pleases her most from her head to her toes, she'll say, I'm not sure that it's business of yours, but I do like to waltz with a log driver, for he goes burling down and down white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly. It's burling down and down white water. A log driver's waltz pleases girls completely.
Lady, poll in the chat. Do you like the log driver?
When the drive's nearly over, I like to go down and watch all the lads as they work on the river. I know that come evening they'll be in the town, and we all like to waltz with the log driver, for he goes burling down and down white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly. It's burling down and down white water. A log driver's waltz pleases girls completely.
And beavers. And beavers.
To please both my parents, I've had to give way and dance with the doctors and merchants and lawyers. Their manners are fine, but their feet are of clay, for there's none with the style of my log driver, for he goes burling down white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly. It's burling down and down white water. A log driver's waltz pleases girls completely. Now I've had my chances with all sorts of men, but none is so fine as my lad on the river. So when the drive's over, if he asks me again, I think I will marry my log driver. For
Took a few tries.
Burling down and down white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly. It's burling down and down white water. A log driver's waltz pleases girls completely. Burling down and down white water. A log driver's waltz pleases girls completely.
It's gold is what it is. Gold, I tell ya. We live along the Ottawa River, a huge lumber highway that powered the British Empire with wood that built their fleets. Heck yeah, we did. War of 1812 and all that jazz. Don't come at us, bro. We'll take you. We'll take you all day long. Not quite as Canadian as Sam Steele's Heritage Moment. Pretty darn close. Yeah, I'm tempted to play the. You know what? You guys want to watch the one that terrified me? That still lives in my head rent free. Canada animation. Woman who swallowed a fly. This got to me, man. This got to me. Oh, is this it? No. Is it not a the old lady who swallowed a fly, Canadian animation. Surely that's a thing. Surely it's on here. Oh, did they not have that? That makes me sad. But there is one more that we can do then. We can do The Cat Came Back animation. That's got to be. There's only one. Got to be one in the whole world. That's it. This is Canada too. Oscar nominated. Oscar nominated. How is it not a thing? That can't be right. The old woman who swallowed. Oh, there was one old lady who swallowed a fly. Animated. Canadian. Please. It's got to be there. It's got to be. Nope. That's it. Muting. Yes, it's a Canadian thing to try, but my stream is now Oscar nominated because I'm going to play that here. Let's do this one. I haven't seen this in 1,000 years. There's only one little blip part of it that you ask constantly, Ferrick, actually. And we're in the middle of something. Maybe later. All right, let's traumatize chat. Good old Burl. Burl Live. Internationally recognized. Yeah, that's right. Globally lauded for its incredible work. Look at that. How do you not Oscar nominate this? I know it's the other one. Oh, getting the heebie-jeebies. Oh, look at her come. That lady. She seems so happy to be there. Look at her go. This is how all old ladies are in Canada, by the way. All of them. We just walk around like that all the time.
I know an old lady who swallowed a fly.
Wait for it.
I don't know why
we'll
she swallowed a fly.
It's not everyone. It's just me. It's just, it's one of those things like in
I know
Pee-wee's
an old lady who
movie
swallowed a spider
with Large
that
Marge.
wiggled and jiggled and tickled
Still
inside her.
scary.
She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a bird. Now how absurd to swallow a bird. She swallowed a bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps
It's such
she'll
a
die.
weird little song. It is very.
I know an old lady who swallowed a cat. Now fancy that, to swallow a cat. She swallowed a cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider.
But I
that wiggled
think he
and
was
jiggled
supposed to
and
eat her, not
tickled
explode
inside her.
the bird. I guess he had to do something during the
She
big long
swallowed the spider to
instrumentals.
catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed
Not
a
enough
dog.
timpanis in today's
Now what a hog
cartoons.
to swallow a dog.
Look at him go! Look at him go! I remember this being a lot faster when I was a child.
She swallowed the dog to catch the cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. Swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and tickled inside her.
Oh, he said tickled.
She swallowed the spider to catch the
Rhymed
fly,
better.
but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a goat. She just opened her throat and swallowed a goat. She swallowed the goat to catch the dog. She swallowed the dog to catch the cat.
It's like Hanna-Barbera, but like infinitely
She
worse.
swallowed a cat to catch the bird. She swallowed a bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and tickled inside her.
We're alive. He's taking his time, man.
She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die.
Odd ending. It is quite peaceful. It is. Stop. He was
I
in
know
no
an old
rush.
lady who swallowed a pig. Now what a prig,
Prig.
to swallow a pig.
Prig.
She swallowed a pig to catch the goat.
I don't think a prig would swallow a pig. It didn't work out, though. The goat wins.
I know an old lady who swallowed a cow. I don't know how. She swallowed a cow. She swallowed a cow to catch the pig. She swallowed the pig to catch the goat. She swallowed the goat to catch the dog. She swallowed the dog to catch the cat. Swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. I guess she'll die.
Probably. Oh, she died. That's her stomach, remember?
I know an old
Straight
lady
through the
who
floor.
swallowed a horse.
She's dead. Of
That
course.
part. That was scary. That was, I don't know, man. That got me. Okay, here.
Tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the...
Like this part here.
I know an old lady who swallowed a horse.
She's dead. Of course.
Blah. Oh man, that just gets me, bro. I hate that. I hate that a bunch. The rest of us are not surprised. I mean, I don't think, no, it wasn't her death that did it. Should we do one more? No, that's 7 minutes long. That's not. We're pushing the envelope. I invited everybody to come here for a specific reason, and that's what we're gonna do. We are. Let's get this thing going here. Wow, I'm not even close. Oh no, I am. Hold on. Hello, everybody. Today we're gonna be talking about ways you can blow up your entire life as a content creator. It's sort of a how-to for being stupid. So if you're looking for ways to be stupid, this is how we're gonna do it. Are you done with the scarring? Yeah, you missed it, man. I could play it again if you want. We'll do it later. I'll send it to you on the YouTube over the Discord. You can watch it at home in the dark, bad by yourself. It's you know, if you're up 3 a.m., you can't sleep. You're like, I want something to watch. There you watch that. You can fast forward right to the end. You only have to watch about 4 seconds worth, and it'll just stay with you. Blah, 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 blah. That one got blah, blah. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Not my thing. Not my jam, even a little bit. Okay, there we go. We're all lined up. So I'm gonna hit the talk button. Today on Taco Tuesday, we're going to be talking about, we're going through a Watch Mojo video, and the Watch Mojo video is all about content creators who did something stupid. 10 YouTubers who destroyed their career on camera. And what I want to do is I want to use that as a parallel to talk about things that Christian content creators can do that are like it, but different. Obviously, we're not out there doing illegal things. We're not, like robbing banks, and you're going to see some really stupid things that they're doing here, eating laundry pods or doing other really horrible, stupid, insane things. Some of this is really bad. But I think that one thing we got to do as content creators is recognize, A, the internet is forever, and B, now blow up not in a good way. Yeah, the bad way. The explode your life. I think I said they'd blow up your life. Christian, blow up your life. Yeah, not your your content. Content blowing up good, life blowing up bad. So there are a lot of people watching you. online and offline, right? So it's like, oh, I only got 3 people. No, that's not true. You got you got your family, your friends, you got the people around, you got your employers, employees, you got people who are online, and you never know who else is on there kind of watching your stuff, coming across your things. And so therefore, there's going to be some things that you're going to do that you're going to regret inevitably in the pursuit of trying to be a good content creator, trying to figure yourself out, you're going to fall into the same patterns. I can say for me, there were 2 things that in my life, in my mind, you had to do if you were a content creator. Number 1 was you had to play video games. If you're going to be on Twitch, you're not content creator, as a Twitch streamer. If you're going, I get those confused. I promise you, I know the difference. But on Twitch, like, you have to play video games. The other one is you have to do something horrible to yourself. Okay? Horrible, like you have to have super spicy stuff, or you have to have super sour stuff, or you have to do Bean Boozled, and that's just, it's 1 for 1. If you're going to do streaming, you have to have a way that people on stream can punish you and make you feel gross and bad. And so I just assumed that's how it went. Also, you have to, you got to paint your nails, you got to wear a wig, you got to do, like, there's just things that everybody seems to do. And as you're kind of working on your own, what is my content and who am I and what am I doing and how is this supposed to work and what do I contribute and who's my group and all that stuff. We all tend to, maybe, emote in the chat if you ever, during your content awakening, you were doing stuff that you really didn't want to do and really didn't like to do, and that you were going to end up, but later you're like, man, I don't want to do that anymore. And I was only doing that because I thought I was supposed to. It was someone else came up with it and you started doing it. For me, that was Being Boozled. That was all kinds of stuff. Yeah, chair dancing. Like that was kind of fun. I forgot we were even doing that, man. That was party time. What ended up happening to it? I moved it into being just for bits, and nobody ever touched it again. So I never had to do it ever again. So this is sort of about that. What are the things that we can do? What are the ways that we can kind of what we can learn from these folks who did something dumb? We're going to take it one at a time. And we're going to see if we can avoid making versions of these very large, very dumb mistakes. Does that make sense? If you have questions, you want to make comments along the way, please do, because that's what we live for here on the Christian Ninja channel, is talking about and to you guys. It's got to be perfect, pixel perfect. Otherwise, what's the point of even being on the internet? Okay, here we go.
That's not me, dude. I don't do that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most infamous times a well-known YouTuber wrecked their career, tarnished their reputation, or lost major opportunities after an on-camera scandal came to light.
By now, we're assuming you've seen the Reddit threads, and TikToks, and tweets, and news articles. We want to give you a timeline of what's transpired.
Number 10.
I'll tell you this, I never want to make that video. You probably heard by now about, me, about my this, about that, about Taco, about what I did, about what we did, what they did, I don't ever want to do that. I think one of the things that we've done right as Taco, as an organization, is the slow, deliberate pace. There were times in the past where we were like, we want to have, this position. We think it's important. Brought someone in, and they weren't the right person. They didn't do the job. They didn't either grasp what we were doing, or they just kind of fell apart, and their life didn't work. And so, but they were the right. I think they were the right person. They just were in the wrong place in their life to be able to do it. And so therefore they just they came in, they were, a nothing burger, and then they left. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got disappointed. Like it wasn't a terrible thing. We learned you got to be careful. You can't just shove someone in. You can't just, they seem fine. Let's wait till God brings the right person around. And then now we got Pastor G, and he's awesome. We got, I just started listing people, and I immediately forgot everybody in Taco. Anyway, we've got a lot of really good people that are now part of Taco, and I believe it's because we were willing to wait. And we want folks who have good character. We want folks who have a good heart. We want folks that have that understand what Taco is. We're having a conversation right now, actually, about bringing in one more person. And the conversation isn't, is this person big enough? Is this person, really going to help Taco grow? Is this person going to, et cetera, et cetera? What's going to happen, or what we're talking about is, does this person get what Taco is, right? Do they grasp what Taco's about? Because we're not like anybody else. We are not. We're not here for growth. We're not here for trying to help content creators, get big. We're not trying to. We don't teach people how to use their tech right. That's not what we're about. What are we about? We're about understanding yourself as a Christian and as a content creator, your audience, who you're creating for, what your message is, and how to bridge that content, and then trying to network and support and love and pastor you guys. And if you don't get that, if you're like, oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to, create content and I'm going to, help people get big or whatever, then you don't get it, right? We are just as much about the creator who is has 3 views, three viewers or 3 views, or doesn't get any views, or just still starting out, or hasn't started yet, but wants to know what God, what they can do and what God's calling them to, and wants to explore that as we are about any other content creator. It's not about, we want non-Augie characters. We like Augie. Actually, Augie was making awesome content, man. Huge. And is back making awesome content. Huge for the community. If you're not watching the Snacks, Snips, and Snorts YouTube video, whatever it's called. I can't remember the 3 words you used, but otherwise, I would highly recommend go checking out Donut. He's making some good stuff. Okay, let's continue on. This is the first example, okay, where we don't want to make that video. Nobody wants to make that video. Nobody wants to sit down and be like, I'm really sorry. I flicks, clips, and clicks. There you go. That's it. Yeah. Chips, snacks, and dip. That was the other one that it didn't work.
In 2018, beauty YouTube was thrown into Dramageddon as one scandal after another came out. Laura Lee was one such influencer who found her reputation in tatters after historical racist social media posts were discovered.
So sorry, you guys.
As the backlash grew, Lee released an apology video that soon became notorious as many viewers saw it as insincere.
I have no excuses here today. I'm not here to give you an excuse. I have no excuses.
Regardless, it didn't stop 300,000 subscribers from leaving her channel and causing a host of sponsors and business associates to drop her. Reportedly, various stores such as BoxyCharm and Ulta Beauty stopped selling Laura Lee Los Angeles cosmetics products. As a result, the original apology was deleted by Lee's channel and replaced with another a month later.
I'm taking the video down because it doesn't represent me well. I'm not taking the video down to try to hide it from you guys or pretend like it didn't happen.
Number 9.
Okay, so I always forget the power of makeup, man. It is a mystical, magical thing. So the story was, if you don't know, that she had some old racist tweets that came out. She lost a bunch of subscribers, a lot of subscribers. People were really mad, lost all the sponsors. And it wasn't because of something she did actively. She didn't put a bunch of racist tweets out. She's not stupid. She's not going to be like, okay, now that I've got all these sponsors, I think I'll be racist. We're going to learn about the guy who did that later. Moron who said racist things later during his career and blew up his career. She did it before, I know, right? Look at the difference. That's insane. That's crazy to me. That's like a different person. Anyway, so as Christian content creators, here's the parallel. Here's what we're doing for this video. Here's what we're doing for this talk. The parallel that I think we can get from learning from this content creator. Yes, we none of us are going to get this big, probably. Maybe. I doubt it. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll have brand deals in Los Angeles for people that are like, I want to look just like XtianNinja. There's a handsome man. How can I look just like him? Could happen. Probably won't. But nonetheless, I think there's stuff we can learn. And so the parallel, I think, is twofold. One is, and this is going to come as a shock to you, write this one down. Be careful what you post online. Okay? Just in general, the content lasts forever. You don't know who's screen capping what. And right now, as there is a surgence of Christian content creators, a surgence of sort of family content, as Twitch is looking for, clean, family-friendly stuff they can put ads on. They're all about the ads right now. I feel like it could be that we're going to end up becoming a little bit bigger. Maybe not the full-on, crazy, gospel preachy ones, but the Christian content creators that are like Tim the Tap Man, where it's like it's part of your thing, but it's not your whole thing, right? And nothing's ever on the internet. Yeah, exactly. Nothing leaves the internet. And so I think that's one thing, is just from now on, from here on in, be careful what you post. I have a rule that in my life is basically, if I post to Twitter, if I post somewhere, it's for encouragement only. I encourage, I ask questions, I try to do something that encourage, help someone to feel better. That's what I want. I don't want ever to put something that is just going to make people mad. There are a few times where it comes to brands, right? Brands aren't people, but being like, hey, this brand really screwed me over. Like Bell, here is like, man, they took all of my money and they didn't tell me otherwise, and it was just bad. I think that's different. But I'm saying, like, with people, with what you say, the words you use, just be careful what you post online. That's one. Number two is repent, delete, and ask forgiveness for stuff that you did from the past. Okay, so one, recognize that there's like, man, I wasn't the same person. We believe very strongly in the church, in repentance, in forgiveness, in God makes you into a new creation, that once God works in your heart, you are different. We believe in bringing people back, like you blow up your whole world and you're just the worst person ever. You ask forgiveness, God changes your life, come on back in. You're part of the family again. Yeah, maybe we're not going to let you, back to the money or near the kids, but you're a brother and sister, right? You're there. We reconcile with you. But the world doesn't work like that, and a lot of people within the church don't really grasp that, and so therefore they go digging, man. So go and delete the stuff that is unhelpful, wipe it out. There's a lot of, if you don't know, there's a lot of like tools on there that you'll just auto do it. You just set it up and you go to your Twitter, or you go to your Facebook, you go to whatever, and you just kind of go boop, and it just goes and wipes it out. I think that it's like, oh, is that hiding? What if I, whatever. I'm just saying, oh, be careful, little nerds, what you post. Literally, that's actually pretty good. Oh, be careful, little nerds, what you post. Yeah, it's literally true. Be careful. There are people who want to see you fall. They will dig it up. There are people who want to take you the wrong way. Even if it's innocent, they're going to try to find it and they're going to take it the wrong way. There are people who you've said something to and they took it maybe badly, or you were mean to, or whatever. They see that you're in social media. They are going to take a clip. They can take a piece. They can take a section for your podcast, something that you wrote, and they can take it and they put it out and they blow it up. Be careful what you put online, and go back and wipe out the stuff that might get you in trouble now. Is that covering up? Well, kind of, but we believe in covering sin. That's what Jesus done. He deletes it. It's gone. Delete, format, and throw out the hard drive. That's how forgiveness works with God. So we should maybe do the same with us. No, Google and Apple care about my sin. Don't worry, you're perfectly secure on the internet. Perfectly secure. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Do you, poll question. I got a poll question. So if I have a mod, poll question is, and this is one I kind of want to hear, is do you think Christian creators should delete their old content before going public? Do you think should Christian content creators delete old posts? Let's go with that. Let's just go with that. Should Christian content delete old posts? Yes. No. That's it. I was going maybe, but that didn't really help. But let's go with yes, they should go through and delete, or no, they should leave it out there loud and proud about the person they used to be. So hit me with a poll, and we'll get some answers there, and we'll come back around to that poll once it's there's a poll. Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Okay, poll in chat. You got how many minutes? A few. How many? Some minutes to check it out. Let me know your opinion. I am very curious. I post stupid stuff. Yeah, deleted the past. Yeah, and that's it. And that's totally fine. Like, I think, stupid stuff is probably fine. I've posted some pretty silly things, but stuff that could get you in trouble, or stuff that you take the wrong way, or stuff that you weren't too sure about. If you're posting, here's a good rule. If you're posting and you feel a twinge of the conscience, or you feel, I've deleted all accounts, or you feel like something go, don't ignore that little voice, right? Just, you know what? Maybe I'll rephrase that. Maybe I won't post that. Maybe I won't. This isn't the best time. Maybe I'm not in a good headspace. Maybe I shouldn't tweet angry. Maybe I shouldn't post angry. Maybe I shouldn't send this email until I've thought it through. Maybe I should run this past some people first. You just be careful. Your anger, your sin, your lust, your fear, your isms, racism, sexism, whatever, are all going to come out when you're not guarded. And so listen to your conscience and be careful with all that stuff. I've blown up completely, deleted many accounts over the years. I'm on my 4th and 5th Facebook. You might want to look into that, buddy. Maybe a little talk with your pastor about that one. Yeah. My church had an elder candidate. I had this happen to me. Okay. So now that I think about it, this actually did happen to me. So I was having a conversation with a church, and I was in like the last phase of going into the pastoral thing. They're like, "You're great. We think you're great. We want to hire you." And then I get an email out of nowhere. We went looking through your old Facebook history, and we found a post where you had attended another church, and then you were critical of what they were doing. Okay, so what I had done is there was an Anglican church in where I live. Like, there's two kinds of Anglican, right? There's the hardcore liberal Anglican, and then that, just the non-gospel, totally not biblical Anglican. And there's the conservative side that is still good, still fine. And I went to that church. I think I just wanted to see, and I just went and sat there, and it was bad, man. It was one of the bad churches, and it didn't have the gospel. It had a whole bunch of misrepresentation of scripture. The words were like wrong. And so I wrote a post. I'm like, I went to a Christian-y, non-Christian service, and it was really weird. And here are my thoughts. And so they said, we can't have you as pastor if you're going to post things negative about other churches or other religions or something like that. And I'm like, wow. I thought, for me, I dodged a bullet. Right? If they're that sensitive, right? If they're like, oh, you can't say bad things. And if they read it, they wouldn't have been, if this isn't, the church is horrible, you should delete the church. It was, here's the parts that I thought were unbiblical. Here's the parts that I thought were not according to scripture, right? Like not gospel. And it was, they didn't like it. I'm like, good. I'm glad I'm not pastor of that church, because if they're going to be that sensitive and they don't want to offend anybody, boy, they don't want me as their pastor, because I'm a gospel preacher and people are going to get offended. That's just the nature of the beast, nature of the good thing. I have deleted a bad post because one day I meant to say shot, and that's not the word that was posted. Who pointed it out? Did you find it, or did somebody tell you? The internet makes it possible to take things out of context and weaponize them. So it is smart to delete things you realize no longer represent you well, but don't assume that removing it means it's never going to resurface. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody screen capping my stuff, but then I could be wrong. Like, I'm now a public figure. I'm an internet person, and so therefore it could be like Zach is just sitting at home every time I tweet, screen capping. Maybe he's got a folder on his desktop called XtianNinja. I'm gonna get him one day, and he just keeps screen capping stuff so he can, in case I delete it. It could be. I don't know. Someone else pointed out. Yeah, it's always someone else, right? It's always someone else. Hey, look, I found swear words on your. Well, thank you for reading. First instinct. Thank you for reading. Thank you for letting me know. And you know what, the folder? You just seem like the kind of guy who's going to have some folders. You know what I mean? Like full, Unabomber hoodie, type in dark face. All right, let's go to the next one.
Where they go too far. And in trolls channels tend to reach.
Yes, says 3 people. Polls always make me feel like I don't have anybody watching. It's okay. Maybe we shouldn't do polls anymore.
The point where they go too far. And in 2015, the time came for Troll Station.
Are you guys get the pens? Are you guys get the pens?
The Ensemble channel staged 2 robberies at the National Portrait Gallery and the Tate Britain Gallery in London, England. At the first location, a stampede of visitors rushing for the exits caused injuries while one woman passed out from fear. At the second, a fake kidnapping took place. Unsurprisingly, the members that took part were arrested.
Unsurprisingly.
In 2016, after pleading guilty to the 2 charges, each person was sentenced for the Tate Britain event. For the Portrait Gallery, they received jail time between 12 to 20.
Run around the museum with gloves and masks on, screaming, "Let's get out of here. It's a robbery." You're going to freak a lot of people out.
Number 8, Rob on.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. I really appreciate that. Hashtag Lurk Force, right? Exactly. Okay, so these guys, it's insane. To me, it's insane. I mean, first off, let's give them kudos for having a meeting where they sat down and brainstormed some ideas about content. That's pretty good. A lot of us don't do that. A lot of us just wake up, turn on our stream, turn on our content, start recording a YouTube video, go back to the same old stuff, go back to the same well, play the same game. These guys thinking outside the box. They but they were so far outside the box that they were in another box called illegal and stupid. And so you stay away from that box. Try to stay near but not in your box. So they did a bunch of dumb stuff. It's just a prank, bro, is still a problem, right? It's still things that people do. It's there's two words, right? Social experiment and just a prank seems to try to let people get away with just the worst things in the history of the universe. And it's not a social experiment, and it wasn't a prank. You're doing it for attention, and you knew you were going to hurt people, but you didn't care, right? So you get that. Can't even scare my own kids without feeling bad. I could never fake a robbery in an art gallery. Good. That's probably a good thing, Zach. Robbing a bank, just a prank. Exactly. Close to illegal, but not actually illegal. Got it. Yeah, just right to the edge. That's where the good that's I'm not even being ironic. That's where the good content is. Maybe don't listen to me this stream. That's kind of true, though. Come on. So parallel. What can Christians learn from this? We don't fake crimes. Okay, that's a good one. But I think, as we're talking about with Atomic Potato, that idea of I do see people pushing on a lot of limits. When I'm on other people's streams, when I'm looking through stuff, I wish I could see more streams, but I've seen in the past, and I see people doing gross stuff, as in stuff that makes them feel gross, right? Stuff that makes them feel bad, as in like I talked about before, the hot sauce, the Bean Boozled, the doing things that literally makes them sick after stream. It makes them feel gross afterwards, and they do it because they want views. They do it because they think it's funny. They do it because they want people's attention. And I get that's part of it. I get that's part of it, that I do it because, it's something bad and I can, whatever. If you can handle it, handle the spice, and you're just like, oh, that's so hot, whatever. Not a big deal. But I'm saying that there are people out there, and I was one of them for a little bit, that was doing things I didn't like, that made me feel bad, that I wish wouldn't happen on my stream, that I wish didn't happen to me. And I would let chat do it because I wanted it to be part of the content that draws people to be able to hurt my feelings. There are also people who do humiliating stunts. Like I can think of the people who, sleep on stream, right? I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why you do that. I think it's risky to stream when you are unconscious, in that you never know what's going to happen and whatever could be there. I don't know why you do it. Just turn off your stream, come back the next day. There are things that you can do that are risky or shocking, as in like playing a game or looking at stuff that is right at the edge or even beyond the edge, not because you think you want to do commentary on it, or not because you think it's interesting, or not because that's going to appeal to the people you've gathered or whatever. It's because you're like, this should get me some views. And if you're doing things that are going to hurt you, hurt others, humiliate yourself, or are out of your control, potentially out of your control, just don't do it. There's better content. Run it back through the filter. That's what I'm laughing about with these guys having that meeting. They're like, what should we do? And someone throws out, let's rob a bank and film it. And they're, like, well, that could have consequences. I'll just run it back through the filter and be like, okay, so what was what were we trying to do there? Well, here's what we were trying to do, and here's how we can do it in a safer, better way, or here's something we can do to be able to do it in such a way that it makes sense. But, unwise is unwise. Okay, so what did you guys say? I learned about yelling fire in the most nonsensical way. We were in a pool and water cannon shot off. Dad wouldn't have that excuse. It is dangerous. People have died. There's nothing wrong if you can do it, right? If you can do it and it's not a problem for you, and you're not doing it to hurt yourself, or you not resent it. Like, for example, here's another example. It's smaller, but I know people, and I've been on the streams where somebody has an alert that goes off and they chastise chat for setting it off, right? Like that alert goes off or goes off again, and they're getting mad at chat. They're annoyed, they're angry at chat. Stop doing that, guys. Like, you're in control. You set the limits. You can stop things. You don't have to do things that get you mad at your chat. Actually mad, not pretend mad, not like messing with chat, but mad. And yeah, I love me some hot wings. And but there are people who don't even think about it, and they go grab the hottest chip in the entire universe, and they've never actually used it. Like, they've never done hot stuff, and they go and they end up in the hospital. I do have a limit on that one, right? I guess we'll find out. If he can do it again, probably not. I tried to put limits on all of them, but the problem is whenever I test them and there's limits, I have to turn the limits off so I can test them. Sometimes I forget to turn them back on. Then I forgot to turn it back on. Nope, it's definitely. Also, I could do this. I could just go and I could turn it off. Right? I have the button. I don't have to get mad at Zach. I'm in control. There's nothing that you need to do to cost your reputation to get mad at chat. I'm gonna delete Zach. Okay, stop, Zach. I'm writing it down. I'm writing that down now. Zach taught me a lesson right now. Okay. All right. Put limits back on. Add back to alerts.
Princess.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Call me out immediately. Good for you. That was I deserved that. I really did. All right. So let me. How many content creators we got in the crowd right now? Just curious. How many are you our content creators? Because I want to ask another poll question, and it only going to matter if we get a few. Zach got banned. Zach's done. Boom. Soft ban. We call it a soft ban. Because I would say this. So not very many. Okay. Oh, you got a few. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do it. Timeout. Well, that's it. Completely different. Okay, so here's the poll question, and that is, have you ever done something you regret for clicks? That's the poll question. Have you ever done something you regret for clicks, or for chat, or for attention? I don't know. Whatever we'll let the wordsmith figure that one out. I've adjusted stuff during stream before. Someone kept sending blurps, and so I raised the price. Or exactly, you're in control. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to do stuff. Here's an example that comes to mind when I think of Blessing Boat. Right? There have been times where because we're both old dudes, and that's what it made me think of it. There are times where we don't feel very good, and so we stream sick, or we stream in pain, or we stream when we're, not feeling well, and we do it because we just, we feel like we have to be there, or, and we're kind of putting ourselves at risk when it comes to doing that. I don't know. Maybe you're not as old as I am, but there are times where I'm like, man, if I go on stream, things are not gonna go well. So have you ever done that? I would say I have. I will vote, and I will say yes, because I had to actually change that up. I had to actually go and stop doing Bean Boozled. Maybe end a stream once. I ate a Bean Boozled. It was the dishwasher tab, or dirty dishwasher flavored one. Made me so sick, because I think, who was it? Somebody had redeemed it 2 or 3 times in a row, and I ate 2 or 3 of them. That's what it was, and I got 2 or 3 of the same one in a row, and it made me super sick, and I ended up having to quit stream. Right, and after that, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. That's not worth it. It's not fun. I'm not enjoying it. It ended stream. Not cool. But I think there probably are people out there, probably Christians, maybe young Christians, maybe young creators, who are thinking they have to do attention stuff. You don't have to do attention getting stuff. What you can do is you can do things that are that you enjoy, or that you find funny, or that you find silly, or that you find whatever. And when it comes to the gross stuff, humiliating stuff, risky stuff, right, there is a line. There is something, there is an edge. You can be edgy, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be namby-pamby and completely milquetoast, but know the line. Listen to people, listen to your community, listen to other creators, listen to your conscience, and just kind of stop. You know, like some people are like, I'll play Grand Theft Auto. It makes me uncomfortable the whole time, but I don't want to. But I got to play it for view. No, you don't. There's lots of games out there. You don't have to play that one, right? I regret streaming Goat Simulator 3. I had just enough content I wasn't comfortable with on stream for what I was going for. Yeah, exactly. And but you didn't know in advance. And if you did, you're like, the conscience is going off and you're still playing. You're like, why am I still doing this? Yeah. Not playing You Don't Know Jack. Getting many strange people that come into my Discord. Had to ban about 6 people. Yeah, being public. I didn't know that. But if you're playing the Jackbox games, apparently people do like to troll and do horrible stuff in there. You got to keep it under control. That's crazy, man. I haven't done things that make me feel sick or icky, but I kept trying to play a game that I wasn't enjoying. Okay, was it mountain related? Was it mountain, or was it the moon one? I gotta know. Was it the moon one or the mountain one? Which one are you referring to? I love Borderlands, but I won't stream. Oh, because of the content. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. All right. Let's keep moving. The moon one. Okay, good. Because I know you did not like the mountain one. Sup, Star Blue? All right, come back.
A lot of people out.
Number 8, Ravana. When you run a lifestyle channel, you have to practice what you preach. Otherwise, people will find out and will be furious.
I know that so many of you trust me, you listen to me, and you probably feel deceived and lied to.
Well, in 2019, Giovanna Mendoza, under the name Ravana, made that error. As she was in Bali, the vegan influencer who sold plans on the lifestyle was recorded by a vlogger friend at a restaurant. However, if you look closely, you can see Mendoza trying to cover her plate. That's because she was consuming fish, which of course isn't vegan. As the backlash grew, Mendoza released a long apology video where she detailed her health problems that led to a change in her diet.
I'm human.
Later, Mendoza dropped the Ravana branding and pivoted her channel's content to her current lifestyle.
That's a lot of steak. Let's go. We made a convert. I mean, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I just realized that is steak and 3 noodles. This girl eats like I want to eat.
Onion liver is ready.
Number 7. It's Aaron.
So, all right. There are 3 on here that are very similar. So I'm gonna see if I can play all 3. I wonder if I can find. No. There he is. This guy. Yeah, that's not steak or noodles. Liver and onions. Still though, that's a big pile of meat.
Labeled as the wife guy as part of the Try Guys, Ned Fulmer promoted his devotion to his family with his partner Ariel and their children.
His hat! His hat! Hats off to that.
But in 2022, something strange was going on with the channel. Seemingly, Fulmer was nowhere to be seen and appeared to be edited out of content. Rumors then began to leak, and eventually there was visual confirmation. Fulmer had been having an affair with channel producer Alex Herring. With the vast inappropriateness of a boss having relations with a subordinate, the Try Guys released a statement and a video that confirmed Fulmer had been dropped by the company due to the controversy.
We want to give you a timeline of what's transpired.
I'm going to back that up. We're going to go to the nice lady who likes meat. And there's a few on here. One is her being vegan. The other one is him being an adulterer. And then there's one with Brooke Hudson. What did she do? I'm trying to remember what she did. Is that her? Where is she? Is that Brooke? I can't remember. No, that's Nicole. Who's Brooke? Oh, with her dog. Okay, so she beat her dog up on camera. So the message here with all 3 of these things, right? With all 3 of them, is you can. It takes no time at all for you to lose your reputation for your brand or life or like your friendship or whatever to be destroyed. People will give you a certain amount of their attention and a certain amount of their trust. That's what we do as Christian content creators, is that we say, I'm trustworthy, I'm someone who believes kind of what you believe, or I'm safe, or when I speak, I try to speak words of love, or when I speak words of truth, or I'm consistent in what I do. Yes, I struggle. Yes, I got issues. I'll tell you when I got issues. I'll tell you with my struggles and whatever. That's part of the charm of being a Christian content creator, is that we're vulnerable. It's a good thing. But here's the thing. It's very tempting when you're part of that world to fake it, right? really, it's part of that world to fake it, so they had built their reputation on one thing, right? I am the family guy and I commit adultery. I am the vegan girl and I sure do like meat, and I am a nice person and I beat dogs. Like the consequences of that are a big deal, but for us, they're even more of a big deal. Even if you have a small amount of people that are listening to you, even if you got like just a few folks and they're part of your community, they are usually someone who wants a friend, who wants someone to connect to, who connects to you because for whatever reason, there's a million other people out there they could be watching, but they're watching you. And if you end up becoming two people, the person that is on stream and the person that is in real life, that real life person will come out on stream. It will always surface. It'll always find you out. You might think at this point that you are like you say, I don't participate in XYZ, and then you do off camera that nobody knows. Well, the truth is it is leaking. It's coming out in your content. It's coming out in your attitude. It's coming out in what you say, and you're going to end up getting caught. That's how it works. The real you will spill out, whether because you get angry or because you get frustrated or because you get sad or because you get tired or because you have too much coffee or whatever. You're going to say or do something based on your IRL that it doesn't fit your streamer identity. Be careful with that, right? Be very careful. I want you to be the same person offline as you are online. Yes, you can be an exaggerated version of yourself, right? I don't talk like this all the time when I'm speaking to people, and I'm not always shouting at them. Like, I'm actually very introverted. I'm usually hiding in the corner somewhere if I'm in public. And so this is a version of me that is true. It's like, I am a preacher. I am someone who's a friend. I'm the same person as much as I can be wherever I go. And I know one of the worst things I can do is ruin your trust, right? If you discover in me, I'm doing the opposite of what I said, or I say one thing and I do another, or I'm secretly doing some kind of sin that's gonna, get me disqualified. I know that's a problem. And you're not excused from it because you're a small streamer. You're not excused from it because you are, just you're not a pastor, not a missionary, not a whatever. You're just a gamer streamer. You're not immune from it. Hypocrisy is something God is very clear about, and that we need to be who we are 24/7, even if we're online. If you damage your witness, and you're going to discourage people, man, and that you're going to make people. They're already having a hard enough time trusting Christians. Most of them, if you're part of this Christian content creation world, there's a lot of them who are church hurt, man. And so they're like, man, Christians are really rough. Christians are hard to be around. I was hurt by a Christian. I was hurt by people who are, who were part of a church. And so therefore I don't go to church anymore. Then they find you and they're talking to you because, like you seem like a cool Christian. They want to be around Christians, but they're really scared about it because, they keep getting hurt. And then they finally give you a bit of trust. And if you turn out to be one of the many hypocrites in their life, one of the Christians who's actually faking it, one of the Christians who is secretly horrible or secretly, somewhat horrible, it just confirms in them that Christians are all hypocrites and they shouldn't be trusted. It's horrible. It's really, really horrible. What did that last poll come out to? Have you ever done something you regret for content? Most people said no. Interesting. What about Christian music? Newsboys do, but you punish all. Was that right for the record label to do? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that you are the public face. You are someone who is told everybody or implied to everybody or put out with everybody that you are, you're a believer, you're consistent, you can be listened to. You when you speak the gospel. When you sing truth and whatnot. And so you eventually, when you become a liar, when you become someone who is dangerous, especially for the crowd that you're trying to serve, like young people or whatever. Yeah, you need to be booted. That's it. You don't like. I'm not saying he's a pastor. But it's sort of similar to the pastoral thing where it's like, okay, yeah, you can come back to the church and you can serve and stuff, but no, you're done being a pastor forever, right? As soon as you've done that, you've disqualified yourself, because that's just the way it is. People take it real seriously, and so they you can come back, but you're not allowed to be the pastor anymore. Is legit and real. Yes, there are some denominations who you can work through a reconciliation process. But some you can't. So yeah, I do think it was appropriate. Okay, let's keep going.
That led to a change in her diet.
I'm here.
And threw water into the faces
This
of
is
in this
stupid.
London was to create this going.
Liver is ready.
Number 7, it's Aria. Oh boy. In 2018, the UK had a series of terrifying acid attacks. With this going on, YouTuber Aria Masala, under the name It's Aria, chose to create a practical joke video on the streets of London.
The media kind of like demonized me.
In this part 2 content, he walked around with a cup and threw water into the faces of unsuspecting people. Of course, viewers were livid. After they removed the video from their platform, YouTube went further by deleting Masala's 650,000 sub channel. Masala then created a second account, and after putting up some videos, it was taken offline and hasn't had any new content since.
Congratulations to me.
In interviews, Masala apologized for the video and claimed it wasn't related to the real attacks.
What?
For it to just get taken like that, it's not really like fair on me.
Number 6,
Okay.
Nicole.
That last part, what a lie. What an insane lie. That's insane, man. Yeah, well, you can feel bad for them, but that's part of the problem with sin, is that it never stays with you, man. That's the lesson. That's the whole point of what I was trying to say, is that your sin will not stay secret. It is like ink. What you touch is going to get touched by it, and it's going to affect you. Like, no, it's secret. Nobody knows. Yes, they do. It's secret. It's not changing me. Yes, it is. It's secret. It's not. It's doing something that it's something I just do offline that doesn't affect anything and doesn't affect anybody. Yes, it does. And it's continuing to affect them, and it will continue to affect them. And one day, when you look back at that, or when you are shown to look back at that, you will see how far your attitude, how far your influence, how far that inky blackness actually spread. That's the point, is that his sin that he did has ramifications on the group, on the publisher, on anybody who's listening, on anybody who bought their albums, on anybody who recommends their songs. It goes back to their catalog and goes, well, we can't believe that. We can't know that. He's clearly a hypocrite. Let's not. Like, Bill Cosby's the greatest example of that, in my opinion. A guy that just completely blew up. He was known as this, and now he's the exact opposite. Another one was Driscoll, obviously. He's known as one guy and then became another. And then the other one was that apology to Ravi Zacharias, right? Like some guy who everybody thought was just the coolest, or most people thought was just the coolest guy, super smart, really humble, really neat. Finds out he's just the grossest, most horrible guy in the whole world in private. And they didn't find out until after he died. Now all of his books and anybody who followed him and all these people are having massive crisis because this guy who they thought was, like a big, a good Christian, good guy to hang out with and to learn from was the worst, right? Anyone who spoke, anything he read. Completely wrecked. It never stays put. And if you think that your secret sin, or you think that your private thing that you're doing is never going to affect you, it is, it will, and it is going to. It's going to. So back to this one, this area pranks guy, right? When people are part of an organization, especially during touring with each other, somebody new and their system and culture didn't promote intervention. Yeah, or that. They created fear and it put him down instead of being accountable. Yeah, that's true. Bill Hybels wrote a book called Character, Who Are You When No One's Looking? Then we found out who he was. Yeah, you find out. Yeah, another guy. Yep. Because if you have influence and Christian content creators who want to grow, you desire influence. Like it or not, that's what you're saying. I want to influence others. I want to be in authority, or I want to be respected by, or I want to be seen as an expert in, or I want to gather people for a purpose to guide them to somewhere else. Whether that be they don't have friends and they're going to have friends, they're mentally ill, they have better mental health, they have, bad diet, they have better diet, they're not working out, now they are working out, they don't know how to play a game, they know how to play a game, they have to play alone, now they play with others. Like whatever your thing is, you want to be influential. That's what you're shooting for. And therefore, because you're a Christian who wants to be influential, you are a target of the enemy. And the way that he's going to destroy you is by destroying as many people as possible. And he'll do that through private sin. That's how that works. This Aria Pranks guy, it's horrible. He throws water at people saying it's a prank during time where there's acid attacks, claims I don't even know what you're talking about. I was just throwing water. Lied about it, right? So using this public fear as tool for clicks, and then he had his entire everything deleted, right? Okay, have a good one. As Christian content creators, we can make this mistake, believe it or not throwing acid in people's faces, obviously, but using real life pain, mental health struggles, church hurt, life crisis as content instead of actually caring. Okay, so this is a temptation, I think, a lot of content creators, especially in sort of my range of followers or just above kind of thing, the one where you can still kind of catch up with chat, but you have a reputation enough that people are going to come in and they're going to share some big stuff. The temptation is that you see that person that comes in, and instead of being compassionate, instead of seeing it as someone who's coming in and taking a risk, sharing something deep in their heart, just reaching out for help, what you see is like you start to salivate about, oh, this is the good stuff. This is exactly what I want. This is going to help. People are going to see how great I am and how much good advice I give, and I'm be able to talk to this. And so instead of seeing this person as someone to help and to serve, you see this person as someone to exploit. And you're like, I would never do that. Ask yourself the question while you're talking to them. Are you thinking, how can I expand this conversation? How can I keep them on? How can I try to make myself look better, look smarter, look wiser? How can I, make myself look super biblical? How can I turn the attention onto myself so that I can use this person to make me look good? So I can use this person so that I can light up chat. So how can I use this person in such a way that they become a content engine for me in this time? How can I take that and I can chop it out and, share it? How can I turn this into a blog post? And how can I turn this into an ad for how awesome I am? Right? If that's where you end up in that place, right? When that's happening, you are doing something very similar to what this tool did, who decided to use someone else's fear as a way to get attention for himself. You're just doing it I would argue it's just as bad, because you're using someone's real church hurt, real mental health issues, real life crises, real brokenheartedness for the sake of content. And it's terrible. And I think it's insidious too. I think there's an insidious nature to whether or not you do this, because you're like, well, I am trying to help and I am trying to do that, but I'm also a content creator and I'm also doing this online. And they knew that when they came to my content, came to my stream or came to my video or listened to my podcast or listened to or read my blog or whatever, that I was going to turn that around into something else. They must have known that. But I think it comes down to your heart and your motivation more than anything. It's simply asking the question, why am I doing this? How am I reacting to this? It's a big deal, and I want you to take it really, 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 really serious. I'm going to ask another poll question. So the poll question is this. Have you ever seen a Christian creator use someone's pain for content? That's the question. Have you ever seen a Christian creator use someone's pain for content? And yes or no, right? Yes or no? I'm still waiting for one of those nuisance influencers who get themselves killed in self-defense when his pranks go too far. Oh, haven't there been some creators like full on shot by the police? I thought there have been some that were hurt pretty severely. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just assumed it. Maybe there were, this is a constant fight as a content creator, not trying to make everything into content. Family travel, new food, home repair. I can see how people might unthinkingly use other people's lives too. Absolutely. No, I don't even think unthinkingly. I think literally, I am, this is cool. Look at this person come in. I'm so excited to be able to finally get someone juicy, It maybe even you, as you're watching this, like not this, but like watching that content, you're like, ooh, this is the good stuff. This is why I come to this channel. I want to hear about all this drama, hear about all this stuff. And it ends up working for the sake of content. Instead of being compassion, it ends up working, you know what I mean? It's rough, man. It's rough. If you have seen it, you don't have to tell me who, obviously, but I am curious if you've ever seen it or ever thought of it, or maybe you've even done it. We'll let that go. I'm going to let's keep going on in the video. Actually, you know what? We got a few things in chat. Let's talk about the chat things first. Disappointing way my mind works is I thought of the cross. It's clearly not this poll question, but I'm thinking of scripture things a lot lately in the crucifixion. How does that apply? I'm curious. I'd like to hear more. Atomic Potato says, I don't know about pain, but I see a lot of evangelism YouTubers who don't seem to evangelize, but just post videos and getting heckled and playing the victim. Oh, dude, that's one reason I don't like so many of them, is because their content is walking up to people and being like, hi, I'm a jerk Christian. And they're like, you're a jerk Christian. And they're like, oh, that's why God loves me so much and why I'm obviously an amazing evangelist, because everybody hates my guts. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. And it's hard. It's, because there are some people out there that do a good job. They confront people on campuses and whatever, instead of being like offensive and walking up and be like, did you know you're a sinner? It's that, they actually answer questions compassionately. But some of those guys are belligerent. I couldn't do it. You see more of that on YouTube? Hey, Animated Jenny. For me anyway, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think. I think the way that some of these people react and the meanness of it, they're the people that are asking the questions, they're trying to do gotchas and they're trying to be rude and they're just screaming at the guy and whatever. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that and do it well. I don't think everybody does. And if you think people aren't using the gospel, using Jesus, using Christianity, using whatever for clout and for attention, yeah, they are. They always have. They always have. Sigh. There's a certain class of street preachers that abuses people just so they can claim being persecuted for Jesus when they get pushed back. Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where you walk up and you act like a jerk and then someone treats you like you're a jerk, and then you're like, wow, that person hates me because I'm a Christian because they saw Jesus in me. Like, no, actually, Jesus had the exact opposite. Christians were going towards him. Christians were asking questions of him. Christians were confessing to him, or like bad guys. I mean, like people who were sinners were coming to him, and asking for them to come to their house and to sit with them and talk to them, and they were attracted to him. That's the thing, man. They were attracted to him. Okay, let's keep going. We'll let that poll cook, and we'll see what goes on. We're at 50-50 at this point.
Apologized for the video and claimed it wasn't related to the real attacks.
For it to just get taken like that, it's not really fair on me.
Number 6, Nicole Arbor. On top of being a former cheerleader, a singer, an actress, a comedian, and a choreographer, Nicole Arbor also has her own YouTube channel. And this latter career got her in a host of trouble in 2015 after releasing the video Dear Fat People.
Fat shaming is not a thing.
The cringy skit was rife with fat-phobic content that angered the public.
Fat shaming is a thing. It's a really big thing, no pun intended.
While Arbor claimed it was meant to be satire, YouTube briefly removed the content before allowing it back up. The backlash even caused Arbor to be dropped from working on the 2017 film Don't Talk to Irene. Later, she stated she made the video for marketing reasons, which explains the similar videos that followed, as well as a part 2 to Dear Fat People.
Shit doesn't make sense anymore.
Number 5, Ned Fullman.
It always seems to come down to people who are, I don't know where to put the thumbnail. How about, I don't know. No. There. It always seems to come down to the person going, it was just a prank, bro. And I hate that so much because I hate lying. Who doesn't hate lying, right? The idea of someone going, this was an accident. I was just trying something for fun. Y'all are taking it too seriously. Where you got just a carnage in your wake, man. You got people who are really, really hurt, and you're like, just a prank, bro. Or it was satire. I was saying horrible things on purpose, but I was pretending to say them, so it doesn't count, right? No, you're what? No. When I read the poll question, it was like a physical way Jesus died, the physical pain a lot of YouTubers lean heavy into, the torture, the crucifixion, especially random men from their cars or Mel Gibson's passion and highlighting the sacrifice nature of it shocked more than what his purpose was. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, good. Yeah, Mel Gibson's passion was a great example, right? Of the heaviness of it was in the torture. I still think it has value. I think watching The Passion has value in that, you know, you will be able to experience some, you know, be able to see some of the horrible stuff. Like when you're just like, Jesus died on the cross for our sins. Actually kind of going, oh, well, that was actually pretty terrible. He went through a lot. But yeah, if you're missing the gospel part of that, then it is sort of pointless. In the same way, the social commentary or the just a prank bro or whatever, where at the end, or social experiment. Social experiment means I did this thing because I wanted to prove a point. I wanted to show something about society, and here's my results. Not, I went over and I made everybody mad. And now I've decided it was an experiment. Yep. You knew it was going to make people mad, then it did. Congratulations. That's not an experiment. Like a madman who shoots firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, am I not joking? Good verse. Yeah. What a tool. Don't be a tool. The end. Yeah, absolutely. So this is Nicole Arbor. Manufactured outrage grows fast, but it's rotten fruit. So she did this satire thing, obviously trying to either bolster her content or maybe the movie, or who knows what it was the whole point of, I have a whole bunch of things I'm releasing, whatever. But when she got the attention, she didn't like it, and she ended up hurting a lot of people. Now, it, you know, regardless of whether it was satire or not, her response to it should have been a lot. Again, I think this is a matter of, you know, was this a good idea? Who did you run this past? Are you the only person who's making your content and coming up with content ideas, or do you have other people? Did anybody go, you know, I think maybe that having like you stand there and do minutes upon minutes of you being horrible to bat people is probably a terrible idea? You know, like, did anybody say that, or were they beyond accountability? Same that we're talking about the Newsboys guy, right? If you get to a point where you can do whatever you want and say whatever you want and nobody can question you because you're the guy, and if they, you know, you make the money and so you can't say anything, so you're beyond accountability, that is a danger. And I'm not saying anybody, you know, even me, this is so arrogant, is the you know, is big enough that you'd be beyond accountability. But I think within our own little spheres, it's my content, it's my channel, it's my podcast, it's my video, it's my YouTube, it's my blog, it's my art. You can't tell me what to do. It's me. It represents me. It's part of who I am. I'm trying to be different, special. I'm, you know, God created me special and he loves me very much, and I'm showing that through my art. You can't tell me what to do. I think that is very pervasive in content creators in general, Christian content creators included, especially when it's coupled with the distrust or dislike of the church. Right? Because it is true that there are people out there who are Christian content creators who believe that their content is sacrosanct. Nobody should touch it. It is absolutely untouchable by anybody. Nobody gets to have an opinion. They can do whatever they want. And they have no accountability. They're not under a pastor. They're not in a small group. They don't have a cohort. They don't have Christian accountability. Call themselves a Christian, but they have absolutely nothing when it comes to the actual, like the family of believers looking over their shoulder. And it's a bummer, and it's dangerous. I think that what we could do is, and one of the reasons Taco exists is because I saw that, like, ages ago, 3.5 years ago. I'm sitting on stream 4 years ago. I'm sitting on stream and I'm seeing these guys come in and they're Christian content creators. They don't have a pastor. They don't have a community. They don't have friends. They don't have training. They don't have nothing. All they got is like passion for wanting to use their gift for the sake of others and for making content. And they're like, but no, I don't have a church. I don't have a pastor. I don't have an elder. I don't have deacons. I don't have a Sunday school teacher. I don't have Christian mom and dad. Nobody understands me and I'm just making Christian content. And I'm like, that's dangerous. That's like super dangerous. We need to make something to help these dudes. And so that's where one of the reasons Taco came about, was because of that exact same thing. And it is critically dangerous. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm missing a few things. Jenny said, rage bait is a real problem these days with content in general. Yes, and we know because angry and divisive and negative stuff gets clicks, works on Twitter, works on Facebook, works on everything. Make people mad and you get clicks. Just the way it is. Titillating things, sexy stuff, angry stuff, things that feed the base person, the animalistic instinct inside of people. That's what gets the most amount of clicks. And it's just, we have to be careful with that. I think I'm going to say something controversial, maybe get myself in trouble, but like, I think we can figure out how to use that energy for good, sort of like how the Force has, like you can use it to choke people, or you can use it to, float an apple over to your girlfriend. Both are possible. And it's just, how do you use the energy of people, wanting to get upset, people wanting to whatever. And you could be like, I'm here talking about some horrible thing in the news, but secretly, I'm actually giving hope and talking about truth and trying to bring both sides of the story. I don't know. I'm just saying that maybe we could figure out a way to bridge that and try to inject some light into that dark place. It does get a lot of clicks, and channels are built on that, but as Christians, it isn't reflecting God. I agree. If that's what it's built on, it's not. Has anyone besides the vegan lady been able to pivot, repent, and continue their previous experiences, or is no opportunity for repentance in the online world? Well, cancel culture, it's a good question, Star Blue. Cancel culture is real, right? Like people want to cancel you. It's fun. It's entertainment for them. You see a hashtag come up on X, or you see it come up on somewhere else, and your assumption is, if it's a celebrity, is I wonder what they did. And now I want to know, did they die? Did they do something really horrible and stupid? Why are they in the news? It's never like, because it's their birthday. And sometimes it is. But you never think, I wonder if that's why. There's some part of you that, Proverbs talking about that morsel, that tasty morsel that hits your mouth that is gossip, or, it's like, I want that. I want that tasty morsel. And so therefore, yeah, it does. So people love canceling folks. And it lets them feel get at the moral high ground, and it makes them feel superior, and it makes them, their little teeny tiny itty bit of power that they don't have. They don't have it at work. They don't have it at church. They don't have it at school. They don't have it in their family. They feel like a small, insignificant, person. They can utilize their social media prowess in order to be able to hurt people that really do have influence and power and ability and whatever. And so that makes them feel like strong, big, people that they're getting it. So yeah, it is real. Is there a chance for repentance in the online world? I think it's harder because the online world is permanent, right? So back in the day, a dude would screw something up as, say an 18-year-old, and they do something really stupid. And then they're 25, and they'd look at him and be like, yeah, you did that stupid thing 7 years ago. And the world has moved on. Whatever you burnt down has now been rebuilt. Whatever you wrecked, now let's say you repented and paid it back, whatever, it's done. We've moved on. And the people who know about it, half of them moved away, and the other half, and maybe you've moved to a different town, really not that big a deal. We're moving on with life. I've learned my lesson. However, today, it still lives. You can go back and you can watch the clip of any of these guys. I could probably right now go find all of the bad things these guys did somewhere, even the guys that were deleted, even that guy that threw water in the face of so-and-so, you could probably go find that. Why? Because the internet's forever. And so therefore, I think it's harder to find the repentance and the reconciliation and the rebuilding and the coming back thing. I think we in the Christian sphere, I'm trying to think of someone who did, well, actually, no, I don't want to, not as a negative example, but Susie's a great example of, that happened. So, Susie is someone who has an amazing content, has an amazing reputation, is an OG in the sphere, one of the best to ever do it. And something bad happened in his private life. He came out, told everybody, talked to, went through the whole thing, did some reconciliation stuff, went offline for a while, worked with his church, gave up his leadership position, went through reconciliation time, came back, and the I don't know anybody who was upset with that, came back, and like I said in a message, I can't think of any better way to have done that. Well done, glad you're back, right? It's good. That was how to do it. And he showed humility, and he showed that he's learned, and he caught it early, and he had the people that were involved, kind of talk about it, and it was good. And so therefore, it is possible. I'm glad that I'm a Christian. I'm glad the Christians really like reconciliation and forgiving people. That's a good thing, but the world generally doesn't. So I would say if you're making secular culture, secular content, you're probably going to get forever pooped on. But if you're in the Christian realm, probably a lot easier. How about that? And Jenny said, I think making people angry on purpose is different than standing up for something that might make people angry. No, exactly. And that's it. Your motive. What's your motive, right? We can use the same fuel. That's what I'm talking about, right? The fuel of whatever the hot topic is. Some people are gonna like use it for just as fuel to make everybody mad because they know it's going to get clicks. And then there's people who are going to be commenting on it, trying to shed light, trying to help, trying to give commentary. It's one of the reasons I've kind of stopped watching some of the video reviewers that I watched, because I was watching some of those guys. They just hate every movie. They hate all movies. I don't know why you're a movie reviewer. You hate all movies. There's not a good one out there. You know, this one come out, oh, it's terrible, it's so trite, you know, blah, blah, women, blah, blah, you know, PC, blah, blah, whatever. And then that's all movies. Like they didn't like, I watched it last night. I watched the last Mission Impossible, the one before the current one. And we watched it last night. And I'm like, that was pretty good. And I'm like, why did all those guys hate that movie so much? That's actually pretty good. And the answer is because it is more profitable for them to dislike things than it is for them to like things. That's why. It is harder to be a positive influence online than it is to be a negative influence. I'm convinced of that. It's an uphill battle for people who are trying to be encouragers. Not impossible. They're out there. We know them. A lot of people you're watching, they're great people and they're really, really cool. Often they make crafts and cook, but they're out there. That makes sense. This is definitely harder. Some people can change their minds and lives. I did think of Susie before, and yes, repentance is easier in some online spaces. In just Christian spaces, I would say. Yeah. Just in Christian spaces. Okay, let's keep moving. Ooh-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, not that one. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. There. Boop. Pewds! My man PewDiePie. I watched a crap ton of PewDiePie. I was a bro for years. And then I just sort of outgrew it and stopped watching. I think he changed, right? He went from what he usually does to some other stuff. I'm like, that stuff's boring. So I stopped watching. But PewDiePie, man, the quintessential YouTuber of YouTuber. Back when he's the guy who YouTube is supposed to be like. So he's the guy who just kind of shares his life, does what he wants, explains things, is funny, tries his best, be creative. At least that's what he used to be. And that's what YouTube. He was the you in YouTube. Now we actually have some articles coming out now that the algorithm is suppressing some of the creators, like individual creators and people who are actually like making YouTube stuff, and it's in favor of CNN and TV and all the, you know, like the networks are giving them money. The algorithm goes away. Why? Two reasons. One, because money, but the second reason, because uncontrollable YouTubers can say anything. That's the danger. I mean, that's the best part about YouTube. Anybody can say anything. You're allowed to, you can go on there and you can show your interest, and just, people might respond to it. It'd be great. But also the danger is that, you know what, actually somebody might get mad because that opinion wasn't good, or they might use it for evil. That's one of the problems that Twitch is having right now when it comes to courting advertisers. The advertiser comes on Twitch and is like, all right, so what's Twitch? Come to the main page, twitch.tv, and some guy's on there, frick frack and frick frack, here's my boobs. And it's like, okay, no ads for this site, moving on. You know, like, that is a problem that they have because they can't control the Wild West of that is live content. And I think YouTube is moving that direction too, where it's like, man, it's just easier to get pre-filled content that has been filtered by someone else instead of these, you know, people online that can say whatever they want. But PewDiePie was and is continued. That's why nobody on Twitch has advertisers, and that's why it's all the same 3 brands.
From content creation. Number 3, PewDiePie. As famous as Felix Schellberg, better known as PewDiePie, is, he could have been so much more had he not thrown it away in 2017 with a terrible judgment and content.
Like, I'm not guilt-free in this situation by any means.
At the time, he created a video where he paid people on the job website Fiverr to do controversial things, including getting people to hold up an anti-Semitic sign.
The Wall Street Journal launched an investigation into the 27-year-old Swedish...
Can I just say that if I'm going to be on CBS News, please don't use a video like this one. Like, he's got 7 billion hours of content, and CBS is like, what should we use as a clip? Yeah, nailed it. Poor guy.
Comedian, real name Felix Schellberg. It found 9 videos on his channel dating back to August that had anti-Semitic jokes or showed Nazi imagery.
While Schellberg apologized and claimed the video was to showcase the state of the modern world, the backlash was bad. This, mixed with further incidents of anti-Semitism and racist incidents in his content, led to Schellberg being dropped from the Disney Digital Network community, previously called the Maker Studios. He also had his YouTube Red web series Scare canceled after 1 season.
Sorry, how you doing, man?
Good.
Number 2.
Okay, so there are 2 things that happened with the PewDiePie thing, right? The first thing was that he said something. I actually, I can defend. I watched a ton of him, so I feel like I can defend him a little bit. And it was the idea had some merit. Okay, so just work with me here. But like the idea, I'm gonna go onto Fiverr and try to get these guys for $5 to do horrible stuff. Right? Like I can get into the head of kind of going, especially if you're trying to make content every day for your entire life. Like they come up with that. Okay, I'm going to try it. And then he does, right? Okay. So I got these people to do, really dumb stuff, dangerous stuff, whatever. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to, and then what is the worst thing? Let me think of the worst thing I can get them to do. Really push the envelope. And that was it. And it was like, wow, I can't believe they did that. That's insane. And if you watch the video, he basically, this is ridiculous. This shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it just shows how horrible you can be. However, other people watch it and they go, that's really terrible. And you shouldn't put that on the internet. And they're right. You shouldn't do that. You can do it a better way. Well, that's it. Like, so there was a better way to do it and he didn't do it the better way. Obviously, if you look at it, like he doesn't care about profanity and he doesn't care about he doesn't really care about other people's opinions. He's a very, very wealthy, very, very popular man who thinks he can do whatever he wants, right? And so he thinks he's also very, very smart, and so he's smarter than anybody else. In this case he was not. But the last thing they said, so that's one thing. Prepared content, that was just a bad idea. The last thing was where he was actually playing a game live, and when he was middle of the game, something happened. He dropped the N-word, right? He just in the middle of nowhere, in whatever moment, he dropped the N-word, which means he uses it. Probably that wasn't the first time he used it. That's something that just kind of came out. And like I said, if you're doing it offline, you're gonna do it online at some point. And he got in trouble and got absolutely the bridge, right? And so it's that one you should be in trouble for sure. And the other one, you should get in trouble. But you can kind of see you could have done it better, man. But it's for us as Christians. Okay, hold on. Let me read chat for a second. So I feel like I snorted some hard drugs. Oh, interesting. It's been like 5 years since I played Magic. My coworkers had me play with them at work, and I flash back into the hype and love it. I've been told Magic has a certain je ne sais quoi. All right, so as Christians, what can we learn? We can be funny. Christians can be funny. Believe it or not, we're allowed to be funny. And we're allowed to be edgy. And I think as Christian content creators, we often try to some of us, not all of us. I don't think Ukulele is looking for anything edgy. What's the edgiest thing question for chat. What's the edgiest thing Ukulele has ever done on stream? Such an edgelord. But like we not everybody's doing it, but there are some. And is it bad? No, it's not bad to try to push the envelope, try to be edgy, try to be funny, try to be, I feel like a lot of my humor isn't going to be, if you got like a 75-year-old, Baptist fuddy-duddy, he's gonna not like some of the jokes I make, but within context to the people that are on here, to the people that understand and whatever, it's funny and it's not gross, right? That's the idea. But I think it's very tempting and very difficult, and can be, and I've definitely been tempted. I've probably gone over the line too, is that you can take that edge and go a little further. All of a sudden you go from joking to mean. You go from being like maybe a little saucy to being profane, to being too sexy or something like that. Like, and those kind of things as they kind of move, it's gonna be tempting, because it's gonna get you a reaction. You say something like that, and all of a sudden people are like, chat lights up, or you get a bunch of comments, or you get some like on your blog, you get a whole bunch of people pointing out what you said and whatever, and all of a sudden the algorithm picks it up and it's great. That's why people put out hate content. But as Christians, we got to be really careful, really, really careful. There's a long history of Christian creators making jokes that go too far, whether in sermons or online or whatever. There's a lot. We know you probably can think of some, but that, like, we're mocking trauma. I think Driscoll was a great example of someone who used mocking of people to as illustration, right? Which I agree that there is a place for a little mocking, but I think it was no longer just a joke. It was mean. So that's a lesson, right? Like, with your best intentions, and because it was content and thinking it through, there is a line, and you got to be careful with it as a Christian content creator. It will come back and bite you. Other people won't get it. It will be recorded. Other people will say it. They'll share it. And then when it comes later, say, for example, you want to join Taco, Christian content creator, you're growing, things are good, you appreciate what we're doing, and then we go, okay, let's look into this. We have a team. We have multiple people who go check the folks that are going to be on the Taco team or going to be part of the board or whatever. Part of the process we have in our system is go watch their stuff. A whole bunch of us go watch their stuff, go look into it, see what they do, find out. And if there's a flag, if there's stuff that is an issue, like we talk about it, and it could be just a flat no. And if you are the kind of person who does the edgy content or whatever, and you're riding the line, I kind of go, for me, I'm like, how are they doing on the line? Because I think if you can ride that line and do it well, and I think that you have a benefit. It's hard to do that. It's a skill. But I think at the same time, if you are loose, or you're foolish, or you're lowballing, or you're using lowest common denominator humor, whatever, then no. We have one person that we were looking at, and we went looking at their content, and they use copyrighted music, right? That's part of their thing. They're a Christian content creator who breaks copyright on purpose every stream for a long time, and basically says, I don't care, right? I don't, doesn't matter. And so, you know what? That gets you disqualified. Sorry. Nope. Personally, I had to stop all the TFD content because it went past the line for me. I had to change how I do stuff. I can't even remember what your acronyms are. What's TFD, right? See a flag with your stream today. A Canada one. You do. There is a flag. We do not change people's content, but if someone is riding that line, we're going to ask a lot of questions. Well, if they're riding the line, that's the thing, right? Is that we're like, if they get it, they're riding the line. I ride the line. I freely admit I ride the line. I do it on purpose. I feel like I'm okay at it. There are times I wobble over the edge, but I try to keep it within reason, be a good example, all that stuff. But at the same time, if you're going to represent us, we're going to take it really, really serious. And my point being is that be careful with your stuff. Run it through the filter one more time. Ask some folks about it. Be careful in what you create, because that stuff's going to be around for a while. And not just you could hurt people, but could also be that you are you gain a reputation as someone who's just kind of a jerk. Like, well, just being funny. Nah, you're a jerk. I'm just being funny. Well, you sounded anti-Semitic. I'm just being funny. Well, you sound like you're racist. Well, just being funny. You sound like you're sexist. I'm just being funny. Well, you sound like you hate the church. Right? Like, just those you got to be careful with. There is a line. got to be careful with it. And your audience is going to matter too. You're going to have some people in your audience that are not going to appreciate that, and other people that's going to speak to them, as in like the hitting that line, not over, but like hitting the line. That's going to really help, in that you become the kind of person that like you can lead them from there into the truth. But because for them, they'll go to somebody who really is nowhere near the line, and they'll be like, well, that person I can't vibe with them at all, right? They don't seem to think like I think, or do what I do, or like what I like, and so therefore no. Whereas there are other people that will get on and they'll be like, oh, that person is sort of like me, but somehow way nicer, or way more light there, but I can see myself in that. I want to know more. It's hard, right? Sort of Paul, when he went into and he used the Athenian culture as an illustration, right? Like there'd be people who'd be like, well, you can't use demon pagan culture to talk about the gospel. That's wrong. And Paul would go, actually, it's a bridge, and it's not bad, right? Because someone's going to have a problem with it. It's hard. I wouldn't even know how to give you advice on how to ride that line, but it's definitely one you got to be careful with. I can't stand that. I've literally had people say, well, it's not in the VODs. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? If you're a musician, you don't care. If you're like, it's like the thing, if you're not an artist, you don't care that art is being stolen for AI. If you're not a musician, you don't care that music is being stolen by content creators all the time in order to play on their stream because they think it's interesting. You're not a Christian artist. Well, then you don't really care that you're stealing Christian artist music and taking it out of your brother and sisters in Christ. You're just stealing directly out of their pocket. Like, you don't care. You're not one of them, which is just stupid, right? Plus, if you agree and you say you're going to, you're like, I'm not going to break terms of service or whatever, don't break terms of service. Quiz says, loosely related, Harvard is in danger of losing federal funding because of the blatant anti-Semitism of students and stuff, and not doing anything about it. Wow, really? Not doing anything about it. It's super easy to, you know what? Stop being racist. We have it in the policy. Okay, let's keep going. We got one more. Oh, wait, is that the last one? No, I think that's the last one.
Case the state of the modern world experiment. Yikes.
Oh, no,
this caused
hold
the
on.
Series scare PewDiePie. Once again,
this guy.
How you doing, man? Good.
Number 2, Sam Pepper. Once again, a practical joke channel came into controversy. But this time, it wasn't with one incident, but 2 that destroyed a popular theater.
So Sam Pepper went to the 3rd Street Promenade, and he had a fake arm that looked like his hand was in his pocket.
In 2014, Sam Pepper released a video where he went up to women and pinched their buttocks when talking to them, which he claimed was a social experiment. Yikes. This caused a host of people to come forward with assault and harassment allegations about Pepper.
Meanwhile, Lacey Green wrote an open letter to Sam Pepper saying, please stop violating women and making them feel uncomfortable on the street for views.
In 2015,
please stop violating women for views. That should, yeah, duh. But like some people.
he faked the kidnapping of Goldback and Colby Brock. Pepper then pretended to slay Brock, disturbing viewers further with a very upset Goldback. The outrage was loud. After apologizing, Pepper deleted most of his YouTube videos, attempted a brief rebrand, and launched a comedy TikTok.
Oh no, I tripped and did something funny.
Before we continue, be sure to
Bro,
subscribe.
You are not funny. That's if you're not funny, don't tell jokes. Don't try to make jokes. Sexual harassment is not a prank. Exactly. Okay, so what can Christians learn from this? Okay, so it's sort of similar to a point that we made before, in that you know how we said that when someone comes in and they have an actual issue, right? They have an actual problem, and we were like, oh, juicy content. Let's talk about that, and let them see if we do some counseling or whatever, and see if we can squeeze some, how awesome I am at being a loving person out of this, right? We talked about that. This is similar in that using guests or chatters or people that you have on as, collaborators, or someone that you are working with in the pod, just other people, using someone else as a target for humiliation, for cheap laughs, so you can own them publicly. Like a Christian wouldn't do that. We do it differently. What we do, we don't walk up and pinch their butt in public, or we don't, call them an idiot or set them up for this elaborate thing. But we'll tell jokes at their expense, and they will get uncomfortable, or they won't respond well, or they won't like it, or it's like we'll push the envelope because we think it's funny, but we're actually hurting their feelings. We got to be really careful. The rule I think should be that when people are done watching you, they think better of the person that was on, right? They like, man, that person is smart. That person is cool. That person is nice. That person is creative. That person is funny. That person is generous. That person is wise. After they're done, after you're done having content, you should walk away with that person feeling better about themselves and other people thinking that they're pretty great. But it is so easy. And for me, so you could ask all the team right now. Okay, you can ask everybody, because all the team is represented here. For the whole first bunch of the Taco Team party streams, we would play the game, we would do the thing. I would, what's the word? Trash talk. I would trash talk because I think it's funny, and I would fit that in, and it would be part of the content. I do that all the time when it comes to kind of relating to folks. And afterwards, I would sit there and be like, did I go too far? So I would send a text to the whole team, be like, if I said something, I'm sorry, tell me, because I feel like I didn't go over the line, but I maybe went over the line. Can you tell me if I went too far?
You are the first person to enter the chat and have been first 1 times.
Good to see you. Welcome. I'll catch up and chat in just a minute. 1 second. So I did, and then I did it again, and then I sent another message. I did it again. I sent another message, and after 3 or 4, I was able to catch the vibe of that it's cool. I'm at the line and I'm doing fine and nobody's mad at me. They could have said something privately. They could have said something. I've done it multiple times. It's fine. I'm okay. But I was so worried that I would have offended, or I would have gone over the line, or I'd made people mad, or I'd made people upset, or make them feel worse afterwards on the team. That would crush me. But I was trying to make content, because a lot of times in the taco streams, there was there's lulls, right? Because the tech is broke, or because we're transitioning to one thing to another or something. And so I try to mug. I try to do some content, and during the game, I try to make it funny. I'm trying to tell jokes. I'm trying to make content, make it interesting. I want people to come to these Taco Team party streams, and I don't ever want to do it on the back of someone. So I check and I check and I check and I check and I check. Okay, that's what I do. So I think we as content creators, we as Christian content creators, need to be careful with that. That we're making people feel better when we're done, not worse. Okay, don't use people for content by making them feel bad, or use them for content by making them, by embarrassing them. Shouldn't have to be said, but it does. Girk says, reminds me of the old pranks where people pretended to be a terrorist bombing a park. Yeah, that's not a prank, right? it's so horrible. Sam says, the more I see pranks, the more I don't understand why people understand. Yeah, I don't know either, other than the fact that they know that extremity is getting them views. That's how, right? Oh, these people were extreme, they got lots of views. I'm going to be one step more extreme. Wow, it worked out for them. I'm going to be more extreme. And then because they don't have wisdom, and I would say again, they don't have accountability. They don't have anybody telling them they're stupid. They don't have anybody saying that you can't do that, or there's consequences, because they think that they are beyond and above all reproach, or beyond and above all accountability, or things that happen afterwards that I remember the word of, that they beyond all that, it ends up shooting them in the foot. And they need that kind of, we all need that accountability. They're getting worse, says Zach. We used to be able to call our parents from our friend's house and giggle. Yeah, they're different, right? Different. Is there ever a time where you would condemn something or someone online, your personal opinion? Absolutely. I'm doing it this whole time. All this is bad. I condemn all of this. Don't do any of this. So yeah. Would there be a time I would call out an individual? I think one of the things that governs me is I recognize that I am limited. I'm limited in my ability to know what's going on, and so therefore, because I don't know everything, and I've shot myself in the foot too many times to be able to like just kind of assuming some stuff, is that I try not to assume stuff. And so what I do if I see that stuff, I contact them, right? I will just contact. I won't make it into content. I'll just contact them. Hey, it seems like things are going sideways. Hey, what's going on there? Hey, things, what's going on? And I won't do it publicly. I'll do it privately, as a quote unquote leader in the community. Hey, something seems sideways there. Pie Cross Up says on YouTube, sometimes I tell jokes at my own expense to make people more comfortable. Yeah, and I think self-deprecating humor has a place. We've actually talked about it on stream. Self-deprecating humor. I use it all the time, and it really bothers some folks. Gets the autists a little stirred up, if you know what I mean. And they really chastised me one day, where they're like, you know what, you keep calling yourself stupid. And when I do it, I'm just calling myself stupid because I did something dumb, or I did something that I should have known better, or I did something that I thought would be, should have worked and didn't. I'm like, man, I'm stupid. And what ends up happening is there's some sensitive folks in the crowd who, for whatever reason, they were called stupid, or they were, they don't like people talking down to themselves, or self-talk. Negative self-talk is a problem, et cetera, et cetera. And they're looking at me and they're like, dude, don't do that. It makes me feel bad when you call yourself those names. And so I'm like, yeah, I think about that sometimes. I gotta be careful with that. I still say it now and again, but I actually say it less now, because I really do think there are some people in the crowd that when I say I'm dumb, it makes them feel bad. I don't want them to feel bad, right? Sometimes it slips out because I've been doing that forever. I don't think I'm dumb. I actually don't, believe it or not. I think I'm somewhat intelligent, but it is it does affect them. Self-deprecating humor isn't always safe. I would say that it is not always safe. Vitali, this one other dude, both went to jail. Yeah, some of these guys have gone to jail because it's really, really stupid. How stupid you need to be that you get arrested. Some of these guys were 20 weeks in jail. Kind of like, I don't know how you. If you go into a museum and you pretend to be a robber and someone passes out because they're afraid and people get injured, how do you only go to jail for 20 weeks? It seems like not enough time. But I don't know. I don't make the rules. Girk says, I feel like PAEZ contact form for Christian streamer to condemn heretics online. It would PAEZ contact form. I don't know what that means. But again, I would be going against the idea of what we're talking about right now. Example would be the guy on TikTok that I sometimes watch just to make fun of heretic content creators. Be easy to contact. Well, there's again, mocking isn't fully condemned in the Bible. There are places in scripture where prophets and apostles mock folly. They do mock, and they mock the fool, right? They mock that, and it is part of it's in the toolbox, right? The problem is some people only use that tool all the time, and they don't bother. I think it's more of a scalpel than it is a hammer, and so you got to be careful with it. But at the same time, yeah, if there's a lot of stupid stuff out there, and spending your time pointing it out, it makes content, and people like watching it. People like watching people react to stupid more than they like watching the stupid thing all by itself, right? And I don't know. I haven't seen his content. Don't know what it's like, but the prosperity gospel is worthy of mocking, because it is patently ridiculous and demonic. So I would imagine I don't have a problem with that, depending on how he does it, right? Okay. Last one.
Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Ooh. Yeah, everybody hit the notification
bell.
bell.
Number 1, Logan Paul. Logan Paul became one of YouTube's standout stars. It seemed like he was on the verge of breaking into the starry lights of Hollywood. But then he visited Japan in 2017, and that all vanished.
I should have never posted the video. I should have put the cameras down.
After a host of issues in the country, in one particular video, Paul and his team discover a body in a notorious forest. While the person was censored, Paul and his team's reaction was bizarre and uncomfortable. People were livid, turning the Paul brand into the most toxic around.
Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner calling him an idiot.
Various films, TV shows, and web series that featured Paul were paused or canceled. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also distanced himself from the creator.
How are you? What's up, brother?
Since then, Paul still has his channel, but he's pivoted to a boxing and wrestling career. On a lighter note, which YouTube channel is your go-to for whole?
He pivoted. Is that what he did? All right, cool. Now he just exploits old men for views. Man, watching that Tyson fight, that hurt my feelings. Man, I don't know if you guys watched that, but it was really bad. It was so bad. I felt bad for him. That was just exploitative and horrible. Okay, so he went to the if you don't know, he went to the suicide forest, wherever that is, and he turned on the cameras and started filming stuff he shouldn't have been filming, and mocking stuff he shouldn't have been mocking, right? So bad. He staged an apology video, which people just criticized for being just I think he monetized it too. I think it had ads, which is something. It was really bad. It was the worst. It wasn't good. What can we learn from that? And that is what I would take away from it, is that you got to recognize that repentance is a sacred thing. Asking forgiveness and repenting and changing and admitting you were wrong, and then asking people for forgiveness and is something don't monetize your apology is something we take really, really serious. Forgiveness is kind of the big thing in Christianity. It's like the thing. It's like our biggest thing. And so therefore, if you mock it, or you use it lightly, or you perform it, or if you do self-promotional stuff, especially in the Christian realm, you are going to get absolutely lambasted. With the level of, we talked about hypocrisy, that is the worst one, maybe. It's if you screw up, admit your fault, say what you did, say it was wrong, try to make it right, and then accept consequences for it, and come from the heart, right? If you're at a place where you don't feel like you can come from the heart, you're going to be on there and you having to do it, I have to apologize. Maybe take a little time to really get your head wrapped around the fact that you were in the wrong, why it was bad, that kind of stuff, because this is not something you're going to be able to, I don't think it's going to be something you're going to be able to walk back. We talked about, is there a time where in Christian content creator circles, you can come back? Yeah, there is. We've seen it. But I think if you end up doing a fake apology for something that you did wrong, as a Christian content creator, hypocrisy is going to be off the charts. The most important, I guess the biggest lesson here is, listen, man, you have a reputation, you have opportunity, you have influence. No matter what size of content creator you are, you have influence, you have the ability to change people's lives. It's a God-given gift, and you can use an amazing amount of creativity to do it. Totally cool stuff. Yet at the same time, that is something you got to hold very carefully, very preciously. Yes, you can do funny stuff. Yes, you can do silly stuff. Yes, you can do serious stuff. Yes, you can do edgy stuff. It's all within the realm of God glorifying, right? That's not all just we don't dance and we don't, do anything else. We do all kinds of cool stuff. However, your reputation is a big deal, and how you relate to God and others is a big deal. And the biggest responsibility you have is to be not only a good influencer, but also to be someone who's authentically a believer in all the stuff you do. Don't be a hypocrite. That's the big one. I want to share two more bad, stupid things that we can that's the end of the video. There's a couple more that I want to kind of throw out there, but feel free to react a little bit to these, to what we talked about already. Ukulele says, I don't know, but many of them seem to think that protecting people from other ministries by exposing them is a ministry. I can see how they get there, but it's still a dark place to be. I'd rather teach people how to see God's light and find good places. I think there's a place for, don't trust this guy, don't trust that guy. I certainly have Googled it. I'm gonna sit down. I've certainly Googled, hey, can you trust this guy? Is he worth like I don't know who he is. What's he about? And having people go, well, he's a bad guy, is helpful. But I would argue that on occasion, there are these bros out there, these Christian bros, that all of their content, everything they do is against things. They're against this book, and they're against this study guide, and they're against this preacher, they're against this church, and they're against this style, and they're against this format, and they're against this podcast, against this blogger, and again, that everything in their content is negative. And it's how they see the world. And I would argue, and because I've known some of these guys, that these guys are not guys who go to church, or they're guys who have their own church because their pastor wasn't trustworthy, because they don't see light. All they see is shadow. And so therefore, nobody's worth trusting. Nobody is as smart as they are. Nobody is as godly as they are. Nobody is as in tune as they are. Nobody is as connected to God, to Jesus as they are. Nobody is as understanding of the Bible as they are. And so therefore, there's nobody in the world who can teach them, because everything they see is negative. I think that's a really dangerous place to be, and a really bad place to exist, right? So yes, we need some people out there that are sending up flares, like, watch out for this guy, he's bad. That's what Paul did, right? You got a whole group of people that are causing problems, and they're ruining your life and ruining the gospel, and they're wrecking everything. Don't listen to them. That's a good thing. But I would argue that Paul had more good things to say. Or maybe it was even. I don't know. Somebody do the math. It was at least 50-50. I would say, between good things and bad things. XNV2, is he worth trusting? Let's see what my AI says. Well, I'm a self-aware android, and even I trust XtianNinja. If he's good enough for a robot sidekick, he's definitely got to be worthy of trust. Plus, he's on a mission to spread love and not malware. I agree. I don't spread malware. So there. So instead of, unless you find spreading God's love to be a red flag, so you're in safe hands. XNV2 on my side. Let's go. That's all. It's all that matters. If I got XNV2's vote, I'm happy. Animated Jenny says, anyone can say anyone bad or good. That's one reason to pray on it and ask for wisdom. Bible says test the spirit. Yeah. And don't have just one source. Obvious. Like, that seems obvious. Like, a lot of people read past the headline. How about that? Like that so-and-so is bad. Oh, okay. He's bad. And I won't look into it any further. And then I'll go tell everybody he's bad. Like if it's a concern, go look into it and look it up. I agree. Pray about it, think about it, talk about it, ask some folks about it. And you're right. Everybody's got skeletons. Everybody's got issues. Everybody's got something in their life that can be pointed at that isn't great. That's part and parcel of being human. But is it disqualifying? Is it horrible? That's, if you're a preacher, you're held to much bigger account, right? Heading to Joel's hosting church. Yeah, let's see what happens. Well, give us a report back there, Zach. Okay, so should I get a fake and just put it in the closet? Yeah, then you'd be like, yeah, I do. Open the closet. See? Oh, I thought you meant metaphorically. No. In and Out sues YouTuber for posing as employee and making bizarre claims in prank video. So I just said read the whole thing, but basically this guy, he was disrupting a store, pretending to be in it, pretending to be an employee, and he got sued, backfired, everything went bad. We've seen this, and all I'm trying to do today is kind of look at these things and like, what can we learn from that? What can we not do? Let's use them as an illustration. I think one here would be don't fake being an expert. Don't fake knowing things you don't know, and don't fake being a like something that you're not. Talk about hypocrisy, but this is more along the lines of, like, say someone comes in and they have mental health issues and they're looking for, and you've read an article one time, or you feel like you know stuff, and just spitting it out as facts without the humility of going, talk to your doctor, talk to other people, talk to someone else. But here's my opinion. But basically kind of going, this is fact. I think it's dangerous. Same thing with your Bible. right? Like there's certain things you can kind of definitively say. Boom. But I think having humility of going, I'm not a Bible expert. I'm not I'm not a teacher. I don't have a seminary degree. I don't have all that stuff. So here's my opinion. I do that, and I have a seminary degree. Like, it's just, here's what I think. Here's a couple sides to the story. I think being someone who's wearing the hat of an expert, wearing the hat of the employee, but actually misleading people, I think it's bad. It's just bad. I know that sounds silly for me to say, but it is, right? When you're on and you have that temptation to want to feel special, look special, sound smart, or whatever, just approach it with humility. We should be known for our integrity, right? In that, and a lot of people they look at the integrity within the doubt, right? It's actually, if you go, this is how it is, and versus someone who goes, okay, here's what I think, and here's what I've heard, but you should check with. Guess which one people are going to respond to better, right? It'll be the one that has the humility to go, here's what I think, and here's what I thought, and here's what I in my experience, here's what I read. But you know what? You should check it out for yourself. I think that gains you a lot more credit. Being an expert in misleading people or wearing a hat that you don't deserve is going to get you in trouble. And you shouldn't do it. The end. I want to shake this guy and say, hey, what if you worked with the store owner to come up with something funny for your channel that also promoted the store? Right? How about you do it with people instead of the expense of people? Yeah. What if, what if? What if, man? Oof. Okay. Last reaction before we get into our final little article here. And that is the TikToker who was jailed after spraying pesticide on Walmart food. Elijah says, there's so many jokes that you can make, that there's so many pranks that you can do. They're funny for both the prank and the prank person. Yeah, there's some innocent pranks out there. I'm trying to think of one that I saw recently that I'm like, that was pretty good. Because it didn't hurt anybody. Like, nobody was scared. Nobody looked stupid. Nobody got dirty or it was just ha ha. Neener. And it's funny. Yeah, you don't have to. There are out there. It just takes some more thought. Like, low-hanging fruit is low-hanging fruit, and it's probably going to be rotten. So be careful with it. Like, some of these guys aren't just low-hanging fruit. They're picking up the rotten fruit off the ground and going, this is the apple I'm going to eat. Not good. Exactly. Working with people instead of using people is going to get you more opportunities, for sure. The guy in the snowman or bush on a walkway was a hilarious prank. I don't remember seeing that one. You should share that one in the Taco Discord if you get a chance. I saw someone where they went around Walmart putting googly eyes on random stuff. See, that's funny. A little bit annoying for an employee, but not the world's worst thing. Okay, so this guy, he did exactly what you think he did. He went in and he sprayed pesticide on food as a joke. What the heck? It's like those people that were licking ice cream. Remember that? Back in the day? There's people that were like, I think it'd be really funny if I filmed myself walking into a business, opening the ice cream, licking it, and putting it back. And those people went to jail. Why? Because that's illegal. You can't mess with people's food. This guy put poison on them. Actual poison. He poisoned the food. I can't emphasize that enough. What the heck? He scare people? Yeah. I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt, I guess, and everybody thinks it's funny. But thing about those videos is you only ever see the stuff that they edited in, not the stuff they edited out. Right? So you don't really know if everybody was cool with it. Yeah, does he not know? I know, right? Like, how do you not know? So, the joke made people sick. So the lesson I kind of want to pull from this one, just as because some of them I'm having to shoehorn in because I found a whole bunch, but I think one of them is we can do this ourselves when we're fixating on negativity. We just talked about it, right? Like that idea that there are people out there that fixate on negativity. They just poison. It's all they think about is negative stuff and bad stuff and everything wrong with the world. And this is I know this is one of the stretch, but I think we got to be careful poisoning our audience by falling into the trap of feeding the negative monster, feeding the negativity monster, which gets us views and actually builds community. A lot of communities can be built on things they are against, right? Fallen leaders and church scandals and disasters and all, like we all come together, no matter what's difference, we're all against this thing. We're all going to work against it. And one of those things can be the church, or it can be other believers, or it can be good organizations or something, and it just ends up being easier to make the content on something bad. Just I think as a Christian creator, in the end, when people are done with your content, they should walk away better than they were before, more hopeful than they were before, more joyful than they were before, more united than they were before, more peaceful than they were before, more able to rest, more generous, have a better example, the more friendly and more befriended than they were before. At the end of your content, whatever it is, they should be better for it. I think as a Christian content creator, if they walk away and they're worse, they're angrier, they think the world is worse, they're more hopeless, they're sadder, they feel more alone, they feel like things that they used to like aren't things they can like anymore, that not like bad things, but like just because you just pooped in their favorite cereal. Like if that's how they're walking away, because you have designed a group that is more united around what they're against and what they're for. And I would think, here's an example, right? Like the easiest one to me is, and I've seen it in Christian content creator circles, is just against the traditional church, right? There's a lot of, if you go and you talk about church, you immediately, the streamer lights up with, yeah, I used to go to church. The pastor was terrible. They treated me bad. They treated my mom bad. And I know plenty of people who were treated badly, and other people I know who were treated badly by the church. Traditional church doesn't get it. They don't like what I do. They don't like digital creators. They don't like gamers. They don't like anime. They don't like who we are, what we do. Yeah, traditional church is terrible. You can't trust any of them. And so therefore, stay here, right? Stay here. Be in our community. We're great. We're very open, and we don't talk about the gospel. We don't offend anybody, and we like what you like. We do things that you like, and we're part of what you like, and so that's a good thing. We're replacing the church. And back early in my career, there was a group that's what they like. There was almost like their stated purpose was not just simply to be a digital church for people who can't attend regular church, or who are struggling and they need a bridge, like I'm going through a hard time and I need a church to be able to heal in, so that eventually I can find my way to a community that near me, kind of thing. But for them it was like, traditional church is done. It's done. There's no reason to be to ever go to a traditional church. We're replacing it. And they didn't have a pastor, and all they just had was people with good intentions and who just wanted to build community, and they didn't even recognize they were doing it. I sat down with the leaders, and I'm like, are you aware that what you're describing and the way that you're doing it is, you're saying you want to be a church, right? You said you have classes, you teach these classes, you have weekly groups, you meet together regularly, you have key teachers, you're trying, the list of things that you're doing, you're trying to be a church online, but you don't have a denomination, you don't have any eldership, you don't have pastor, you weren't sent, you're not calling yourself a missionary, but you're doing everything to become someone's church. And they had pushback, and they're like, we're not trying to be a church. I'm like, consider what you do. Like, repeat back to me what you do and tell me if that's not church. And at the end of the conversation, they're like, you know what, I think we are doing church. We're trying to be a church. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I don't think it's bad that people have groups, or people that have teaching, or people that do all that kind of stuff. It's not bad. But recognize that if you've created a group that is like, we hate this, we are the antithesis of it. It's possible that your group is built more on negativity. Like you have a group full of people that are you're poisoning against something that could be good, right? Say the counseling is another one. That you can't trust psychiatrists. You can't trust doctors. You can't trust pharmaceuticals. You can't trust any of these guys. So that's what we're going to We're gonna. That's our identity. We're just against anybody in authority. And so therefore people are like, I have a problem. And the solution should be go see your doctor, right? But that would be bad for them to say in that community. They would be going against the general vibe of we're against authority. So they feel like they'd be letting down their group. It sounds crazy, but it actually does happen. Congratulations, TikToker, you're now a domestic terrorist. Yeah, exactly. Jesus told the people running the temple that their model is bad, and they didn't like that either. Yeah. Truly. Okay, well, that's it. That is the whole of the lessons we can learn part of it. I thought that a good thing for us to follow this up with, just for kicks and giggles, just because it's sort of tangential, and I knew we weren't going to be able to squeeze full 3 hours out of it, is 5 Secrets of Self-Control. I think this has a great a tie-in. Obviously, hopefully you see the tie-in. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out why I'm covering this at the same time as the other thing. But I thought that'd be kind of interesting. Feel free to talk about whatever you want. We're just going to go through this article, and then this is it. This is the last thing we're doing. So 5 secrets to self-control. White knuckling your way to self-control doesn't work long-term. Like, that's sort of a no-duh, but the truth is a lot of people, that's how they operate. Right? When they start a diet, they're like, we're just gonna not eat. Right? Well, are you changing any of your habits or doing anything? I'm just no food, not doing anything. I'm just gonna, and then eventually that falls apart, and they're like, it didn't work again. I'm a failure. And the truth is that if you're trying to change your life, you're trying to do something of value, you're trying to, better yourself, there's ways to do it and there's ways not to do it. And you probably don't have the willpower to be able to do it the hardest possible way, cold turkey, just fight. Here's some things you can do if you are trying to make changes or trying to do something, make your life better. We might get through a particular class with white knuckle willpower, but that's not a sustainable strategy. Like, you'll be able to do it for a little while, but not full for a long time. Practical strategies such as environmental control and building on successes can make self-control easier. Environmental control is something that we all should just figure out, right? Like, this is one thing I've had people say to me, man, I really need to stop doing this, right? It's getting in the way, whether it be playing a game or whether it be, reading a book or spend too much time on their phone. And I've said to them, cool, give it to me and I will put a blocker on right now. I'll make it so that you can't do that. I'll delete it and then I'll have a password that you can't do. And their response is usually no. Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay, cool. So you're just gonna stop doing the thing you're addicted to? Just decide to and never go back to it again, even though it's totally available anytime you want it? You figure that's gonna work? Like, it's not, and it hasn't. So like, doing the environmental thing is like where you actually change something on the outside to prevent you is a good thing. Or like having porn blockers on your router, or not having snacks in the house, or having going for a walk so that because that you get irritated, cutting down the caffeine, whatever it is, right? Maybe it's an environmental thing that'll help out. Okay, being productive at work, keeping up a healthy habit in the household chores, communicating well with others, almost everything we want to do requires a measure of self-control. Easier, more satisfying, in-the-moment options are very tempting. We could put off writing that email, ditch the workout, ignore the laundry pile, snarl at our partner, and zone out by binge watching the latest show. But if we choose those easier options too often, it can get in the way of our long-term concerns. It can chip away at your life and your joy and everything else. The term self-control has some unfortunate connotations. It conjures up an image of someone who's rigid, buttoned up, and no fun. It seems unpleasant and effortful. It feels forced. Yeah. If you look at scripturally speaking, it is one of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. It is an interesting thing that self-control is in the list of gifts that the Spirit gives you when you're a Christian. And that if you ask the Spirit for it, and if the Spirit's working in your heart, you have more self-control. Well, isn't that more spiritual control? Yes, it is. That's the idea. You'll feel a sense of self-control. You'll feel a sense of more control over your decisions because God's working in your heart. It is something that God can give you. It is not simply that you white knuckle it and you have to do it yourself. And God's like, Once you clean that part up, then we'll get spiritual again. It is, I will help you clean it up. I will help you change it. I will help you fix that part of your life. I will help you put that thing down. Let me work with you, because it's a gift he's willing to give, is self-control. We might be able to get through a particular task with white-knuckle willpower, but it's not a sustainable strategy. Real self-control isn't about forcing ourselves to do something we don't want to do. It's about choosing to act in ways that fit our values and setting things up so we're more likely to follow through. No gritting teeth required. Here's some possibilities. Well, less. I would not know, but less. Less gritting teeth required. Okay. Number one, set up the situation for success. Number one, how do you change your life for the better? Step one, situational control is always easier than self-control. How can you set up your environment to make it more likely you'll do the work you want to do? This might include going directly to the gym after work, setting a timer to signal you to start an activity, removing distractions, other temptations, cleaning your room, having an organization, removing stuff from your life, putting a blocker on it, getting the TV out of your room, putting a blocker on your phone, buying a cell phone that doesn't have smart capabilities. Your level of how serious are you about the change will be connected directly to the your willingness to make that change, right? If you are really going to die, and this is the thing that'll happen to dudes especially, right? Dudes, is that be like, I will eat all the meat and salt and crap I want because you can't stop me. And I know I'm not supposed to. I'm sure if I go to the doctor's like, hey man, you're in trouble. You should probably stop that. You're right. I don't want medication. I'm going to stop it on my own. And then they come back a year later. You should really stop that. You're in trouble. And then eventually they have a heart attack, lays them out, get close to death. Now their body doesn't work the way it should. Things are damaged. And the doctor goes, okay, cool. How about now? And they go, okay, I guess I'll have to make some changes. And then just they're miserably sad about it. It's like something was taken from them. And the truth is they were warned about it. And if they would have changed situationally, changed how they do stuff, they could have found ways to enjoy stuff while also not, while also being healthier. But they didn't want to. They needed their entire world to fall apart first. Like dudes who are suddenly, for no reason, their girlfriend leaves them, or they, why are they mad and why are they gone? You don't know. It's because they've been signs all along. They've been talking all along. There've been things going on all along that you maybe have been ignoring, or maybe you thought were fine, and it ends up being not fine. And you didn't set up the situation. Oh, we better date. We better talk more. What about counseling? What if we have this? What's going on? Suddenly and for no reason. Yeah, it's human condition to not want to do it. And it's crazy to me that how we as humans, me included, will say how badly we want to change, but do nothing to force ourselves, right? The video game thing it makes the most amount of sense. Not video game, the phone thing, the stuff on your phone. Could be a game, might not be. Could be scrolling. You can block that. You just put a blocker in, then you can't access it, right? And it's not that hard. You just give a password to someone else. And there was for a while there that I was spending way too much time just scrolling stuff, and I'm like, I'm not even going to sleep anymore. So I asked my daughter to put a passcode on my phone on the parental block so that I couldn't do it. Right? Why? Because I couldn't control myself. I needed something outside to help. Hey, Supersonic. Yeah, some people never change even when their life implodes. Yeah, because I don't know. It'll never happen to me. I'm the exception until you're not. Number 2, replace the undesired behavior. This is another thing that people often forget. It's usually easier to replace a behavior than stop it. It is always easier to replace rather than stop. This is why instead of smoking, you chew gum. Instead of getting angry, you count to 10. Instead of eating chips, you eat carrot sticks. We're really bad at not doing the thing. We're better at switching the thing for a different thing, right? What was number 1? It was set up the situation for change your environment, make it so the outside helps. Do something on the outside that helps. Put a blocker on your phone or whatever. I would do an internet blocker, except my roommate does not have the same values that I do. Oh wow, interesting. Well, you can do it locally. And I know the problem with local stuff is if you're a computer guy, it's easy to get around if you really, really want to. Yeah. That's the thing. It's all get aroundable eventually. Where there's a will, there's a way, but at the same time, if it takes a few steps, you're more likely to stop. That's the point. You add some, I can still get in the car. I can still drive to the store. I can still go buy chips and eat them at home. That is still possible. But if they're not in the house, I got to get in the car and I got to go all the way to the store, and sometimes that's just enough to keep me from doing it. Same thing with the blockers. Of course, you can this, that, and the other thing, but that extra step sometimes is enough for you to get your head straight, right? My parents had a way to auto turn on or off the internet that set a time per day. Yeah, exactly. They're sometimes you can get it to turn on, you can have the internet turn off at midnight, or it can, for example, on the router, Quiz, if your issue is after 11 p.m., you can have it block the internet for your PC or whatever your thing is at 11 p.m. You can't use it. There's no internet there until tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's the way it is. Deal with it. It's I'm not a child. Yeah, well, you're acting childish about this, so therefore maybe you should be treated like a child for a little while. Yeah, it's easier to replace a behavior than stop it. This really hurts now. Make a specific plan for what you'd like to do instead of the habit you're trying to break. For instance, if you're trying to stop biting your nails, have hand lotion nearby that you can apply. Take up knitting. Find a sensory pleasing fidget to keep your hands busy. If you're trying not to yell at your kids, maybe make yourself drink a glass of water before you respond when you're feeling heated to slow down your response. Yeah, change it up, add something. It's not always about, removing. In fact, it's rarely about removing. It's usually about changing, finding something else. Point of a blocker is to give you more time to be able to talk yourself out of it. Exactly. Same for my parents doing to me. It was 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And that's the whole point, is that this is when your self-control goes out the window. Now we'll have outside the box self-control. More safeguards is better, especially if you struggle with it and you really are committed to personal holiness. Yeah. Hardest self-talk. Too often when we're trying to have self-control, we resort to beating ourselves up in our minds. Not helpful or kind. More useful self-talk might be to remind yourself why this action matters to you, or give yourself an encouraging pep talk. You've done hard things before. You can do this. It won't last forever. You'll feel so good afterwards. You may want to write yourself a note with an encouraging self-talk. Stick it to somewhere you might remind you about what you want to do and why. So, this is the difference between, say, going to the fridge and having a picture of you being fat on the fridge versus a picture of you that is a picture of a suit you want to wear or a dress you want to wear, right? Two different things. One, the self-talk is you're a fat sack of crap, and if you walk in here, you're just proving it. The other one is, hey, you have a goal, and this is achievable, and it'll when you're in here, make a good decision. The two similar endings, different way to get there, right? Different way to get there. I think a lot of us struggle with negative self-talk. I know I do. I'm really critical with myself, and it's really easy for me to just kind of fall off the wagon and just beat the snot out of myself. I'm really mean sometimes, but I find that if I can go, hey, you know what? Remind yourself of what God's done in the past, of where you've been, and of the truth. It's a lot easier to make good decisions. Number 4, focus on progress, not perfection. This is hard for me. This is probably the hardest one for me. Sometimes when we're aiming for self-control, we set our standards too high. Then we feel discouraged when we fall short. What would you recommend to a friend in your situation? What baby step could you take in the direction you'd want to go that seems absolutely doable? Start there and build on your success. Little bits of progress can add up to in important ways. So I love that. What would you tell a friend? So if your friend came up and was like, I want to do this or change this or stop doing this, and they're like, I've tried to stop completely and I always screw it up after 5 days and then I just forget it, right? What would you say to the friend? You'd be easy. You'd be like, dude, you did it for 5 days. That's good. And if you screw it up after 5 days, just start again. That's totally fine. You did better this week than you did last week. That's what matters. You did better this month than you did last month. That's what matters. It's okay to stumble. We all stumble. Whereas somehow when it comes to us, it's like you're a big dumb idiot dumbhead who can't ever do anything. What's wrong with you? Blah. And you just beat yourself up. It's like, what is the point anymore? And it's just the worst. And if you kind of go, if you're able to take a bit of a helicopter view of your life and go, you know what? I am more in control this month than I was last month, more in control this year than I was last year. I'm a better person than I was, when I was younger, whatever. You're able to kind of go, you know what? I'm not trying to be perfect all the time. I can't be perfect all the time. If I try to only zone in on minute to minute, second to second perfection, you'll go crazy. But if you can kind of go, you know what? Over the course of this week, I did pretty good. When I was using my AI for my diet, one of the things it would say, I'd be like, I screwed up, I did this. And it'd be like, yeah, but remember, over the last, week here, you're still tracking. You just told me about the bad thing you did. You tracked it. That's a good thing. It means you're still taking it serious. Plus, there are extraneous things happening that are stressing you out. And this isn't the end of the world, and tomorrow's still coming, and you've still got a lot of victories, and you still haven't done, you haven't gained all the weight back or whatever. It's this just one night. It's like, don't beat yourself up. And it was nice to hear from something else to tell me that, right? And it's true. Like, it's just really hard for me not to focus on perfection rather than progress. Anybody else struggle with that? Anybody else there? It's hard for me to get off devices throughout the day. So much Twitch, tablet games, Hopeful Disasters Discord, their monthly calendar schedule had a digital fast on Sundays. I wanted to at least try this, even for a time. I wanted to see how long I can go. It's been 4 weeks and I want to keep going 1 week at a time. That's it. 1 week at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 week at a time. Exactly. It's exactly right. But so when you go to the first one, right? So let's kind of run that through. I don't want to be on my phone as much. Okay. So step one, do you have a way to get rid of the phone? Right. So if your phone is in your hand and your phone is in your pocket, it is so much easier to get. What if you took your phone and you put it on the fridge? What if you took your phone and you gave it to somebody? Hey, don't give this back to me till tomorrow, right? What if you did that? Just go put this in your room and don't give it back to me. What if you took it and you had an actual blocker that turned it off? What if the internet stopped working, right? If you're serious about it, there are things you can set up in your life to be able to kind of delete that part of your life. You can't get it if you wanted to. Yeah, okay, you could, but it's a lot harder. Replace the undesired behavior. I don't want to play games on my phone. I just keep going to play games on my phone. Okay, what are you going to do? Sit cross-legged on the floor? Now? What are you going to do? Right? I'm just sit there and white knuckle my way through it. I'm not going to play my phone. I'm not going to look at my phone. You need something to do. Find a hobby, get some Lego, draw a picture, listen to a podcast, go watch something. Whatever you're trying to replace, you have to replace it. You can't just decide you're not going to do it. You got to do something else. That's important. Right? Harness self-talk. We talked about that, sitting there. Don't beat yourself up, man. Don't beat yourself up. Get a landline. There you go. Yeah. Or a dumb phone. A lot of folks are getting the dumb phone. I think it's cool. There's ones out there that are paper, e-ink. Did I just spell phone with an F? Yep, I did. There's some phones out there that use e-ink, which is kind of rad. They don't do much. Right? They don't do much. They just, they accept texts and they make phone and that's it. Yep. They make phone. That's all they do. There's not much else. And so that's something you can totally, if you want, you get a dumb phone, you get a flip phone. Yeah, exactly. And usually they're like, the guy I just got a new phone from Bell, and changed all my package around, and he's like, you could get another phone if you wanted for like $3. $3? Like, yeah, for $3. It doesn't do anything. Nobody wants it, but you could. Like, yeah, it's there and it's cheap. Heck, you could probably buy one cheap on probably the one given away. I bet there's one sitting in your desk right now. Focus on progress, not perfection. That's a mental thing. We talked about that. Number 5, this is most important, maybe most important thing. Of all the other ones, this is the one that you definitely shouldn't. And it might be the hardest one to do. I often remind my clients and myself that we don't get any extra points for doing life the stupid hard way. We don't get any extra points for doing life the stupid hard way. Yes, hard alone way, I should say. Yeah. What are dumb phones? It's just look up a phone that has e-ink. It's just a phone that all it does is phone and text. That's it. No games, no nothing. Maybe you get Snake, but you don't really get anything else. But if you need to answer the phone, you need to send a text, right? It's there, right? Hello! Good to see you. Hello. Give me a second and I'll run up. I appreciate it. How's young feller? How you doing, young feller? Glad you're here. Welcome to the stream. What were you doing? Jesus and tacos. It's Taco Tuesday there too? Far out, man. Jesus and tacos. Let's go. What is that about? What were you talking about? What was your podcast about? Why am I looking at that instead of that? Hi. What were you talking about? I'm terribly curious. What's up, man? I have a video that I'm gonna watch with you guys. Just give me a second here. We're gonna pull this one up because it totally applies. There's no big button. There. All right. It's me, Batman. I'm great. I'm glad. What was the podcast about? What did you guys talk about? Yes. Yeah. What did you talk about? And who is Nana Rosebird? Is she an expert on something? That's cool. What we're doing here, I'm the Christian Ninja, the Christian Ninja. There's actually more than one of us. And I'm the executive director of Taco. Today is Taco Tuesday, the Alliance for Creator Outreach, where we talk about Christian podcast stuff, Christian life stuff. That's what we do. I'm getting to the end of stream and I'm tired. My brain has stopped working. Let's get through this together. We will get through this one way or another. So yeah, that's what I do. And welcome to the channel. Today we're just kind of talking about ways that you can blow up your life, and then we're finishing it off with self-control, in which you can kind of see the way they go together, right? So this is I want to show you this video because it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Preparing to do the thing is preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing.
I like that. Some of those self-help things can be a little bit, beady uppy, make you feel bad about yourself. But this one here, don't do it alone. All of those things in your head and all the doing the things, is one of the ways that you combat that is that you can have somebody that can come and say, hey, did you do the thing? Right? All right. So, sorry, what'd you say, young fella? We're talking about marriage and singleness, actually. Nice. Nana Rose is a wonderful sister who's married and great insight on marriage aspect. For me, I'm single. Oh, that's cool. Let's go. The force of habit. I like yelling, is what he said. I'm just used to yell. I do that. I'm sitting here yelling right now. I don't use this tone of voice anywhere except on stream. Can you imagine if everywhere I talked with my kids, I always talked at this level all the time? They wouldn't be around me for very long. Clip from taco training? It could be. We should probably add that in there. But the idea is, so if you're not able to do the thing, whatever the thing is that you're trying to have self-control, one of the ways to do the thing is that you get people around you that'll help you, right? Some people, they try and find somebody mean. You don't need to find somebody mean. Like, I want somebody who's going to yell at me. No, you don't. Right? That you want somebody who's going to encourage you, somebody who's going to ask you, because all you're going to do with the mean person is you're going to avoid them. Right? That's what you're going to do. Oh, Cross Up, you're a content creator. Cool, man. Sorry, I completely missed that because you're on another platform that I'm still struggling with. Hi, good to see you. Dude, come and hang out. Come to the Discord. We don't have an exclamation point Discord on YouTube, but go to my Twitch channel. I know this is the hardest way to do it. Or go to my website, XtianNinja.com, and click on a button there somewhere. Do I even have it? I'm so stupid. I have a Discord. You got to go to the Twitch channel. I'm dumb. Just go to my Twitch channel, join the Discord. There's a ton of Christian content creators in there. I should set up a thing for Twitch, for YouTube. That is just silly for me not to have it. Treating my YouTube compadres like they're second-class citizens. And you're not. You're good people. You're the Burb. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you're well. I'd love to learn more about the podcast. That's kind of cool. What did you talk about? I'm finishing up here. Maybe you guys we can talk about marriage stuff after this. So yes, how could you involve others in your goals? Sometimes just talking about your plans with others can help reinforce your commitment to them. I challenge that assumption a little bit. I'm of the belief that you should tell people what you're doing rather than what you're going to do. Okay. Get accountability, talk to privately. Like I'm thinking about this. I want to kind of do this and whatever, for sure. But if you're going to share it with the world, you're going to talk to, tell a bunch of folks, tell them what you've been doing or what you've done rather than what you're going to do, because you will feel terrible if you tell them what you're going to do, right? It's this difference between, hey, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. That's what I'm going to do. Or versus I've lost 3 pounds versus I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I'm 3 pounds in. If you just do the middle one, hey, I lost 3 pounds. You're going to get celebrated. People are going to be excited, and then you don't feel bad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So my encouragement is that, yeah, you should talk to some like people you trust or whatever, maybe at the beginning, get some advice from, doctor, pastor, friend, expert, dad, mom, but don't just tell people what you're going to do out as a form of accountability, because you'll just end up hiding and feeling crappy and feeling like a hypocrite and stuff if you fail. This is something you should do just kind of with a few amount of people. Sometimes more directly involving someone who cares about you in reminding you or doing an activity with you can make it easier. Like it's easier to go to gym with someone than it is to go to gym by yourself. That's just 1,000% true. Always will be. It's easier to do things with others than it is not to. So if you're having a hard time doing whatever it is, find someone to do it with. If you can't find someone to do it with, then find somebody who will ask you if you did it. And if you can't find somebody who will ask you if you did it, set up a calendar event or set up something. Even talk to your AI. I'm a big fan. Tell your AI. It really helps. Just having something to say. Journal about it. Tell someone. Put it out into the world, into the universe, instead of having it only in your head. Right? For instance, you could talk with a colleague about the projects you're struggling with, invite a friend over to help you clear your closet, meet a buddy early in the morning for a walk, come up with agreed upon hand signal for your partner that you can both use to pause the conversation that's getting painful. Just give me the old, and then, that's what I'm going to do. There's me and my spouse, we're going to do this one. Do that one. And that'll be the signal that I don't want to talk anymore. I'm sure there's no way that could be misconstrued. Okay, look for more positive encouragement instead of how far you have to go, or discouragement, or reminding you that could be if you don't change. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, for this part specifically, accountability part, to say, this is where, like, where you're going or where you want to go. But if you're trying to tell people, get people involved, talk to a few people, only a couple people, about what your goal is and where you're trying to go, and people who are invested, involved, people who are experts, people who care about you. But if you're going to make it public, make public your victory. Don't tell them what you're going to do. Tell them what you did, or tell them what you've done. Or like the step. You'll feel a lot better. Reset. Shut down the devices. Have them around still, but don't touch. Helping at church worship team doesn't count against once a month. Yeah. Place the time with something. Church mornings, parent lunch after normally. Sometimes we keep me more busy. I don't know. It's already 2/3 through the day. Yeah. And no criticism, man. I'm not trying to poop in your success. What I'm saying is that, like, if you want the thing out of your way, put it out of your way. If you don't want to touch it, make it untouchable. Right? Yeah. It's for content creators especially. it's easy for us to go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then you don't, and then you feel like crap. I do that all the time. I have these big plans and can make up big plans, make a new calendar, make a new thing, tell people what I'm going to do. I'm trying not to do that anymore because my life is so uncertain. I don't know what I'm doing. Then I just feel bad, right? Then I just feel bad. So that's what I learned. Okay, that's it. That's the whole stream. I did it. We got to the end. Today is Canada Day, which means I get to go to a neighbor's house and I get to go eat some hamburgers. But the most important thing about this stream is it is always an AMA. I do not end until I have exhausted your patience and you're sick and tired of me. Then I'm done. That's how I know I'm done. So if you guys want to talk about something, you want to bring anything up, content creator related, Christian related, life related, anything else related, I'm here. I'm happy to chat. Today is Taco Tuesday, but it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about anything. We're at the end of my content. Now it's time to talk about what you want to talk about. So what do you want to talk about? And if it's nothing, we'll raid out. We'll find someone to raid to, and then I can go eat some Canada Day food, whatever that is. I don't know because it's at the neighbor's house and I didn't have to cook it. Yay! Meat and cheese and lettuce and bun, lettuce, pickle, cheese. Put a patty in between. It's burger. What? It's burger. What? Yeah. Put mayo on your burger? Yes. Mayo on the burger. My burger is relish mustard on the bottom, and then patty, and then ketchup, onion, tomato, lettuce, mayo. Miss anything? Probably barbecue sauce, onion. Put an onion in there. I like me a tall burger. No, I do love me some mayo. It's good. I had a quesadilla yesterday, and it was super spicy, and so I'm wiping sour cream all over it, and that was pretty good. Cream cheese and raspberry sauce. Okay, so if you go to there's a burger place in town. What the heck is it called? I can't remember. But if you go there, they have some wild burgers, man. One's a peanut butter burger. I wonder if I can find it. I'll see. Hold on, I'll find it and I'll share it with you guys. Ottawa burger. It's called The Works. There we go. I will share it with you because it's something, man. It's worthy of your a little attention because it's something. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, Animated Jenny. Menu. That is something. Okay. So, burger, craft burgers. Okay. So, the burgers are, here's the playing it safe. Cheddar, tomatoes, chicken breast. Okay, yeah, for sure. Man, I hate this so much. It just keeps popping up trying to be helpful, and it's not helpful. Okay, chicken, whatever. Okay. Cautiously experimental. Hamburger Mary, fried egg, bacon, cheddar, mayo, and tomato. Okay. Remember Crab Gold? I thought it could be when you were discussing different Canadian foods, when you were discussing trying to find different foods when you sub your stream. No. I think it's a game. In case you're wondering, I have a post that says Crab Gold, and I don't know what it means. I have no clue why I wrote that. No, by all means, ask away. It's an AMA. Always ask anything, always. That's what AMA stands for. So fried egg, bacon, cheddar, mayo, tomato, hipster, avocado, caramelized onions, and Havarti cheese. That's still pretty normal. Taste of heaven. Canadian Wagyu beef. Canadian Wagyu? Is that a thing? Topped with candied bacon, caramelized onions, arugula, and house-made sauce. Who puts arugula on a burger? Gross. Gross. Were you the crab? That's something else. That's a different name. I don't know what it is. Smoky Mountain, barbecue sauce, cheese, and bacon. Not really big deal. Bacon, pea-meal bacon, more bacon, barbecue sauce. Okay, blue cheese, ranch bacon. Do you guys like blue cheese? I do not like blue cheese. Okay, trust that this works. This is where we get a little bit weird. So the Tom Green, avocado, mint, Monterey Jack, bacon, and beach house sauce. I don't know what that is. That sounds normal. Avocado. They like avocado on their burger, man. Sun-dried tomato and feta. That sounds gross. A Greek salad on your burger? No, thank you. Right? Racing crabs in the winter gets cold. I don't know. That could be it. I don't know. The kamikaze, jalapeno, chipotle, banana peppers, well, and cheddar. Served with a side of hotter than hell sauce. That sounds terrible. Jalapenos and chipotle and banana peppers and hot sauce. That sounds awful. I don't even like jalapenos because they taste like pennies. Tragically maple. Maple bacon jam, candied bacon, bacon seasoned potato sticks, Canadian cheese curds, arugula. Why arugula? So gross. And house-made bacon roasted garlic aioli. Okay, that's a lot of bacon. This might be the one. Right? I don't know why they're putting arugula on this. Arugula tastes like it giving you an allergy. That's what it tastes like. My mouth hurts. It tastes like pepper. Why does it taste like that? I think you might be allergic. That's what the feeling is. But you're not. That's what it's supposed to taste like. Gross. Yeah, exactly. Don't put arugula on it, man. I want lettuce. Maple bacon jam, candied bacon, bacon seasoned potato sticks. That sounds good. Cheese curds, and bacon roasted garlic aioli. That's a lot of bacon. That'll be the saltiest thing in the history of the world. Mustard greens? No, I've only ever had mustard green once, and I don't think it was made particularly well. The chicken was amazing. It was at a wedding. But the custard, no, I'm thinking collard greens. What are you talking about? Custard greens or collard greens? Mustard greens. Okay, I don't know what a mustard green is. I've only had collard greens, and those were gross. 6 degrees of Kevin bacon. Okay, bacon, pea-meal bacon, candied bacon, barbecue sauce, house-made bacon roasted garlic aioli, and bacon seasoned potato sticks with lettuce and tomato. Okay, I get that one. Because that's this one. But with lettuce and tomato. $24 for a burger though, man. Leaves from a mustard plant. Oh, I've never heard of that. I heard this Sunday I can share a link. Oh, yeah, by all means. Bring it into the Taco Discord. The Skater Boy. Peanut butter, Monterey Jack, and bacon. Yeah, there's the peanut butter one. Whoops. Yeah, peanut butter. I mean, I can see people would like it. Peanut butter jam wings are amazing. I've never had wings. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. What's that link? What link are you hitting me with? I don't want to click on it until I find out what it is. But yeah, that's just kind of weird things. I want to try it. Tortilla chips? No, thank you. Cake? Kook? Cuke. I know, cuke. Celery. Well, yeah, but what is the video about? I know it's a YouTube short. What's it about? Starbucks controversy. Oh, sounds fun.
You guys are not going to believe this.
I'll try anything. The peanut butter thing I probably wouldn't try, but that bacon on bacon with some bacon and a side of bacon and some bacon sauce, that sounds pretty good. I'll take that. All right. What do you got for me? Oh! This is not true. This is not true. If he's about to do, they're not though. They're not though.
This Starbucks has been scamming us this whole time. Check this out. So this is like, it has the same amount of volume. Or like it fits the same amount of coffee. Look.
It's got a false bottom.
Here, look. Check this out.
It's a lie. It's a lie. He has a false bottom in the cup. He's just trying to troll people for attention. And it works. Because people don't know that. There's language in that short. Thanks for the warning. A little too late. Yeah. Did you see the YouTube Shorts past TikTok? I did. I saw that YouTube Shorts has more views or something. Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't see that. I wasn't even showing it. That's so dumb. Anyway, it was a guy pouring coffee cups into one other coffee cup, but they have false bottoms. So it doesn't really count. Yeah, crazy, man. More people are watching YouTube Shorts than TikTok, although according to who and according to what count and whatever. I like YouTube Shorts a lot more than TikTok. I think TikTok is just basically advertising for OnlyFans. That's all I see on there is horrible, stupid content, prank garbage, stolen content, 99% stolen content, and then OnlyFans. That's it. That's all. And so, like, at least on YouTube, I see things from the YouTube channels that I subscribe to. So I like it because I already subscribed. Okay, let's rate out. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. Wednesday is where we talk about community stuff. Community stuff basically means that I go and I look through the Discord, we find some things, we talk about kind of mental health or life or advice or things like that for that content. Been doing a lot of reaction stuff, as in reading or watching. So if you have videos you want me to react to, you have articles that you kind of thought were interesting, hit me with them. I'd love to see it. I'd love to spend some time talking about what you want to talk about. That sounds good. And then Thursday is a weird day. I don't know what I'm going to do. Still can't play video games because my arm doesn't work. So we'll find something to do. I will find some. Probably we'll definitely look at a lot of weird things. But we will after that, I don't know what we'll do. Probably just a bunch of weird things. I'll find weird things. That's what we'll do on Thursday. In the meantime, do me a favor, tell your friends. Please tell your friends I exist. Please tell your friends to come by and hit follow and like on the YouTube channel and all that stuff. The most important thing in the world for a content creator is just you guys hanging out and commenting and stuff like that. But the next thing is if you guys could tell some folks, because word of mouth is super powerful. Thank you. And again, if you are a content creator and you saw what was going on today and you liked it, join the Discord. We'd love to have you. And one of these days I'll put the link on there. Okay. See you guys. We're going over to Wolfler. Bye.